To confirm details via multiple law enforcement sources a couple of minutes ago. As the opening theme song was playing, I was still trying to get more details from one of my sources. We will have that story as well as another exclusive, at least tangentially related to the issue of illegal immigration and President Trump's deportations as the Dan O'Donnell Show unfolds today. Before we get to any of it, however, we begin with your chance to win $1,000 in cash instantly. It is the cold, hard cash contest, and the word this hour is GRAND, G-R-A-N-D, GRAND. You have got until 55 past this hour to go to our website and enter the keyword GRAND. If your entry is picked at random, you will win a grand instantly. If you would like to join the Dan O'Donnell Show at any point during today's program, we keep our phone lines open every minute of every show. You can always text us. You can always call us on the adventknows.com talk and text line 414-799-1130 or 1-800-838-9476. That's our toll-free talk and text line. Email me directly, dod@iheartmedia.com. If you wonder how we're able to break so many stories here on the Dan O'Donnell Show, if you're wondering how every day it seems we have multiple exclusive stories and multiple big exclusive stories, it's not by accident. It's because of you. I always jokingly call our listener family Dan Nation, and while we have fun and we do silly little text-in games and things like this, I rely on you to supply me with the information I need to inform everybody. I don't know anything save for what I am told by the sources I cultivate, and oftentimes those sources are just listeners to the program. I guarantee you have some knowledge about something that's going on in your community that people should know about, that people deserve to know about, that they need to know about. I can guarantee sources are always fully protected. I have been doing this for nearly 25 years. I have never once burned a source. I guarantee you, you will not be the first. Email me any tips in complete confidence, dod@iheartmedia.com. If you would like to watch the Dan O'Donnell Show, we are streaming live on the Dan O'Cam at Dan O'Donnell Show on X, Facebook.com/Dan O'Donnell Show as well. We are also on YouTube. And please, 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 please download, subscribe to, like, thumbs up, heart, follow, whatever it is on whatever podcast service. The Dan O'Donnell Show podcast. iHeartRadio is the one we prefer for obvious reasons, but you can find us quite literally anywhere. Just a couple of minutes ago, I was able to confirm that a suspected drunk driver arrested on Sunday afternoon in Dodge County following a two-car crash is suspected of being in this country illegally. I say suspected because the suspect was very, very badly hurt, and the investigation has been ongoing for the past several days. He's not from Wisconsin. He's not from Tennessee either, very plainly, but he was living in Tennessee and in Wisconsin as part of his job. He works for a company in Tennessee that I am not going to name, but I can report has been under investigation multiple times for allegedly employing a very large workforce of illegal immigrants. This suspect I can identify as Hector Torano Perez. He is 32 years old. He remains in the hospital in very serious condition. He suffered life-threatening injuries in that crash that killed his 30-year-old passenger. He smashed his pickup truck while driving drunk. It is believed that he consumed at least 8 beers before getting behind the wheel on Sunday afternoon and about 4:30 striking an SUV that was driven by a couple, a man, a woman, their 3 young children. The man and the woman suffered severe life-threatening injuries. Fortunately, if there is one positive to the story, it's that the 3 minor children were in the back back seat, and they were all buckled up and all suffered minor injuries. Now, that's of little consequence if mom and dad are that badly hurt. The Dodge County Sheriff's Office did put out a press release on this, saying initial investigation shows a 2024 Ford F-150 pickup truck was traveling eastbound on County Road B and failed to stop at the stop sign on County Road B at County Road A. The pickup was struck by a 2006 Cadillac Escalade traveling northbound on County Road A. Both vehicles came to a stop in a field on the northeast corner of the intersection. A passenger in the pickup, a 30-year-old male from Tennessee, was ejected from the vehicle and subsequently succumbed to his injuries on the scene. Now, this is a passenger in the suspect's vehicle. It is also believed that that passenger is in this country illegally. Again, an investigation is ongoing. I don't know if ICE was contacted or is investigating. I am getting this from sources who say both are suspected of being illegal immigrants who should not have been in this country, and certainly not in Wisconsin, since they illegally immigrated to Tennessee, but then went to work for a company that had them go up to Wisconsin to do work. The driver of the pickup truck, a 32-year-old male from Tennessee, was transported by Beaver Dam emergency medical technicians with serious life-threatening injuries, where he was taken into custody for operating while impaired first offense. The driver of the pickup was then flown to the Aurora Summit Hospital due to serious life-threatening injuries. There were multiple Flight for Life flights that also took the couple, the mother and father, adult male, adult female, to the hospital. Once again, in this Facebook post that doubled as a press release, I'm not on the Dodge County Sheriff's Office press list, although I may be and just lost it in the mountain of spam. Dodge County Sheriff Dale Schmidt did not identify anyone involved pending notification of family members. This is sort of standard protocol. It's not as though Sheriff Schmidt, who is a very good sheriff, is trying to shield this suspected illegal of deportation or anything like that. It's just an ongoing investigation. I am reporting the suspect's name solely because this is something that I believe is very relevant to the story. That Mr. Toscano Perez should not have been in this country. I have no idea, and I am continuing to work sources to try to figure out exactly when he crossed the border, what his country of origin was. I've gotten a couple of conflicting stories on both of those. I don't yet have a definitive answer. I can tell you that all sources do indicate with almost total certainty that this man was, and his passenger was, an illegal immigrant, that they were both in this country. Back to the press release from Sheriff Schmidt. The driver of the Escalade. Now, this is just an innocent family driving somewhere in Beaver Dam on a Sunday afternoon. A 35-year-old male from Fox Lake was flown to the Marshfield Medical Center in Beaver Dam with serious life-threatening injuries. A 38-year-old female passenger in the Escalade, also from Fox Lake, was also flown to the Marshfield Medical Center in Beaver Dam with serious life-threatening injuries. The driver of the Escalade and the adult female passenger were subsequently flown to the Aurora Summit Hospital due to their injuries. The 3 children in the Escalade were transported to the Marshfield Medical Center in Beaver Dam with minor non-life-threatening injuries. One of the juvenile passengers in the Escalade was later transported to the UW-Madison Hospital due to her injuries. The names of all parties are being withheld pending family notification, and the crash remains under investigation by the Dodge County Sheriff's Office Crash Investigative Team. This comes just days before President Trump today signed the Laken-Riley Act into law. We will have some of the audio from that, as well as throughout the show, President Trump's news conference featuring the mother and other family members of Laken Riley who were with him when he signed that law. It's a very, very powerful scene. The president also touching on various other topics and breaking some big, big news on illegal immigration, what we're going to do with criminal illegals, the absolute worst of the worst. I'm not sure Toscano Perez was one, but he was a drunk driver who killed somebody. And whether or not that somebody should have been in this country either is irrelevant. You have a family who are all believed to be American citizens, who are all actually from the United States and actually from Wisconsin, who are badly injured and are going to face long recoveries and a lifetime of trauma. You got 3 little kids who are at different hospitals from each other and different hospitals from mom and dad right now because this guy drank too many cervezas and got behind the wheel of a pickup truck. Because a company in Tennessee allegedly wanted the cheap labor that Democrats are constantly talking about America needing. The illegals are doing jobs that Americans won't do. And what, this family is just collateral damage? Laken Riley murdered in cold blood by an illegal who could have been deported multiple times, following an arrest in New York City for endangering his girlfriend's child, then again for shoplifting along with his brother as he got closer and closer and closer to Georgia, where he was able to brutally assault and then kill and then badly disfigure the body of an innocent college girl. How many different times does this have to happen? Yeah, crime occurs in the United States. Nobody is aware of that fact, perhaps on the radio more so than I. I spend how much time going through crime statistics, talking about how the decriminalization of crime since 2020 has brought us to a dangerous point in American society. But when you have people here who have no legal right to be here and commit crimes here, and to then have not only a political party this week stand up and say, we want those people here regardless of the crimes they committed, regardless of how terrible people they are, regardless of how dangerous they may be to the Laken Rileys of this country, and then to have organizations like Catholic Charities of Milwaukee, we reported exclusively yesterday, justifying the fact that they put out a video, and I'm led to believe that this video that they put out saying, here's what you can do, illegal immigrants, if ICE comes to your workplace. They stood by it, and they said, well, we're just giving legal advice to people. No, they weren't. They were telling them, if ICE comes to your workplace, try to get out of there. Don't make a scene. Head towards the door. If they stop you, comply, but definitely try to get towards it. They're telling them to run away. Catholic Charities nationally has been one of the big ones, moving these people across the country, getting them into the interior of the country, getting them benefits, getting them established here, so that more and more and more people can come. All the while, you've got even the farthest left mayors in America, Brandon Johnson of Chicago, the mayor of Denver. Eric Adams was so radicalized by New York City's inability to take care of all the illegals. He's now about a month or 2 away, and yes, I know he's desperate for a pardon because he faces corruption charges. He's about a month or 2 away from donning a Make America Great Again hat as he announces a re-election bid. But the bottom line is that this isn't about politics. This isn't about policy. This isn't about who's right morally or ethically. This is about people being victimized by people who should not be in this country. The bottom line is that we as a country have a right as a sovereign nation to enforce our borders, to decide through an orderly immigration process who we want in this country. And we have the absolute right to defend ourselves and as a national security priority to know exactly who is in this country. We have no idea who Hector Toscano Perez is, where he came from, when he came, why he's here. But what I do know is on Sunday afternoon, he drank at least 8 beers, got behind the wheel of his pickup truck. Now his friend is dead, and a family is badly hurt and devastated and traumatized because he was allowed to live here, to work here, to travel freely here. All while our federal government for 4 straight years turned a blind eye to crimes like this, turned a blind eye to the Laken Rileys who were being victimized and said, you know what? Bring in more Hector Toscano Perez's. You're listening to the Dan O'Donnell Show. We will have much more on this. I'm going to try to find out more details and another exclusive story. Boy, it's a jam-packed Dan O'Donnell Show. Stay with us.
When the wildfires struck Los Angeles,
severe fire weather conditions.
First responders from near and far came to the rescue.
All fire departments and all law enforcement will be prepared.
Now the music community has joined together to help at Fire Aid, a historic fundraising concert for the recovery of Los Angeles. Tomorrow night, starting at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific, live on the free iHeartRadio app's Hit Nation station.
And give what you can now at fireaidla.org.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Hey, Dan O'Donnell for Mander Collision and Glass, now with 7 locations to serve you across the greater Milwaukee area. Start your repair right now at mandercollision.com. Mander truly is the best decision after a collision.
They used water to restore your wood? No wonder you need us. Well, don't worry. This time we'll do it right. You see, water raises the grain of wood, warps it, and opens splits and glue joints. It's the enemy of finished furniture. And that's why we only remove your finish chemically. It's not the cheap way, but it is the best way. For the finest in furniture finishing and heirloom restoration, by golly, it's Mullally. Mullally Furniture Finishing and Repair. Serving everywhere. Quality counts. MULLALY finishing.com. If you have a great piece and want to see if it's worth restoring, of course we can send someone out there. And no, we won't charge for the visit. We've been doing that for almost 50 years, along with pickups and deliveries, to get the beautiful piece that we restore back in your home safe and sound. And we'll guarantee your satisfaction to boot. So if you're looking for the finest in furniture finishing and heirloom restoration, by golly, it's Mullally. Mullally Furniture Finishing and Repair. Where no job's too small. Serving everywhere. Quality counts.
Join News Talk 1130 this Saturday at 4 p.m. for The Word on Medicine, the show that brings you the latest medical innovations and discoveries by physicians and scientists at the Medical College of Wisconsin. That's Saturday afternoon at 4 on News Talk 1130, WISN.
I'm Total Health's Jay Johnson, the Falls and New Berlin. Remember looking forward to playing with your kids or grandkids and having the energy to? At Total Health, we hear it all the time. People say I'm too tired and worn out to be the person my spouse married or parent or grandparent my family deserves. Sound familiar? Total Health naturopaths find root causes of fatigue and lethargy, then treat you, the whole person, restoring energy and overall wellness. It could be dietary or thyroid function, or maybe you just need to drop some weight. Big Medicine's weight loss injection causing stomach, gallbladder, intestinal, and vascular problems works for them. Sick people are profitable. If excess weight is a contributing factor to you not feeling your best, Total Health naturopaths will never judge you. We'll be honest, providing the tools and motivation to lose weight. Then we'll be with you throughout your journey to feeling happy, healthier, energetic, and well. Be that person your family deserves. It's not theory. Relativity equals expertise plus execution. TotalHealthInc.com. That's TotalHealthInc.com.
If you've ever been in pain, you know it often starts small, then grows from there. What starts as minor knee or hip pain eventually means you're not walking properly, standing up without that wince, or going up the stairs. Hey, I'm Benjamin Yount, and I want to talk to you about our friends at QC Kinetics, because there's good news. QC Kinetics has groundbreaking treatments for arthritis pain. That means long-term relief is possible. QC Kinetics regenerative treatments are sweeping the nation. They're available here in the Milwaukee area. Thousands of people across the country have already turned to QC Kinetics, and they'll tell you, don't wait. The pain's not getting any better. QC Kinetics treatments work with your own body to heal and restore your damaged joints. Give them a call today and see what they can do for you. The call to QC Kinetics is free, and so is the consultation, and there are Saturday appointments available. Call them, QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474. That's QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474.
All programs on News Talk 1130 WISN are broadcast through the NX Wealth Management Studios. NX Wealth Management. Know the difference.
At the top of the hour, an exclusive update to a story that you might have heard about out of Dodge County, Beaver Dam to be precise. A two-vehicle crash involving a suspected drunk driver from Tennessee is not all that it at first appeared to be. I have exclusively identified that suspect, who remains in the hospital. He was taken by flight for life to a nearby hospital in Marshfield with severe life-threatening injuries. He is 32 years old. His name is Hector Toscano Perez. He is believed to be in this country illegally. I have not been able to totally confirm that through multiple law enforcement sources, but the working theory is that he is, in fact, an illegal immigrant. So, too, was the 30-year-old passenger in his pickup truck who was thrown from that truck and killed a family who the pickup truck struck. Well, more accurately stated, the pickup truck, Toscano Perez, blew a stop sign and went right into the path of this 2006 Escalade driven by a 35-year-old man. A 38-year-old woman was in the passenger seat. They were both seriously injured. They suffered life-threatening injuries, both airlifted to the Marshfield Hospital. Their 3 children were fortunately not seriously hurt. All 3 did get hospitalized. One had to be taken to the UW-Madison Hospital for further treatment on the injuries. An investigation is ongoing. This was reported by the Dodge County Sheriff's Office, I believe either Sunday night or Monday morning. I think it was Sunday night in a Facebook post. Identities were not released, and this is not, and I want to stress this, this is not because the Dodge County Sheriff's Office is not cooperating with ICE or anything like that. Just the opposite. It is an ongoing investigation. There may be a federal component to this. Yes, the suspect, when all of this is sorted out, would very likely be the exact sort of person who would be deported. He is expected to face charges of homicide by intoxicated use of a motor vehicle, causing great bodily harm through the use of intoxicated use of a motor vehicle, a slew of other charges. He, according to my sources, consumed at least 8 beers. He was drinking all Sunday afternoon. I don't know if he was watching the football games or something like that. He was in Wisconsin. He and the 30-year-old who was killed had been living in Tennessee. They were working for a company, and I'm not going to name the company, although I do know it, that is known in Tennessee to state and federal authorities as one that employs a large number of illegal immigrants. And it's unclear how forthcoming or cooperative said company has been with this ongoing investigation. This afternoon, President Trump signed into law the Laken Riley Act.
Thank you. We're going to sign this in honor of Laken Riley. Come on up here, some of the people that we love that have been so instrumental. Okay?
Trump signed in his second term in office. It requires the detention of illegal immigrants who are accused of theft, violent crimes, various other crimes. It essentially mandates further cooperation between state and local and federal authorities as we try to get the worst of the worst of the worst out of here. There was interesting moment right after that. A reporter, as the Riley family was gathered around President Trump, it was a very somber signing ceremony. You know, some of these are very fun. They're very jubilant. On President Trump's first day in office, he signed probably about 25 executive actions right away. He's riffing with reporters. He's telling his chief of staff, Susie Wiles, hey, Susie, go find out what the drones were. But today, it was a very serious thing. And a reporter tried to ask him an unrelated question, of course, about the latest hoax that they've been going with, and that's that Trump's executive action on the federal funding freeze was going to stop Social Security and Medicare payments, and Trump stopped this reporter's question cold.
Mr. President, government funding, can you take a quick question on government funding, the pause?
I don't think this is appropriate time, really. I respect that, but I don't think it's appropriate. I can just tell you government is doing very well, and we're cutting way back, but this is not the appropriate time. Thank you.
Yeah, the president did a great job in deflecting. I noticed he did it. Everyone says we're doing a great job. We are doing a great job on this. We will have much more throughout the program on President Trump's press conference before he signed the Laken Riley Act. Also, the big story today, the confirmation hearing of Bobby Kennedy Jr. There were some fireworks and controversy over a baby's onesie. We will get to all of that, plus Gold Bar Bob Melendez, sentenced to 11 years. We'll have that next.
If you already know football or you want to learn more, listen to the Mark Belling Football Preview and Picking Contest every week on News Talk 1130 WISN. Mark, along with football handicapping expert Mike Merlette, dissect the most interesting games. Plus, a listener can pick a game for a chance to win a $100 gift card.
The Mark Belling Football Preview and Picking Contest is presented by Holiday Automotive of Fond du Lac, featuring hundreds of new and pre-owned vehicles, plus impeccable customer service. It's worth the trip. HolidayAutomotive.com.
Warshawski trial attorney Frank Crivello here. Folks, I'm Victor Harding. Frank is selected Best Lawyers 2024 Complex Litigation Lawyer of the Year.
More impressive is Victor Harding named Product Liability Attorney of the Year again for 2024.
It may sound boastful to mention these prestigious awards.
It's not boastful considering if you or someone you love is injured, you need to know two attorneys from the same personal injury firm being chosen by other lawyers and judges for these caliber of awards is very rare.
Heaven forbid you ever need an injury claim made on your behalf. If you do, the quality of your attorney and law firm will have a greater impact on the outcome than even the facts of your case.
Former clients, other lawyers, judges, law enforcement officers, and even insurance adjusters,
often our adversaries,
refer their family and friends to Warshawski because they know Warshawski will achieve maximum compensation.
Injured? It is about the money.
Warshawski.com.
That's Warshawski.com.
Join the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra January 31st through February 2nd for a dazzling program of Baroque theatrical works, including Vivaldi's The Four Seasons. Tickets are going fast, so visit MSO.org right now to reserve yours, or call the box office at 414-291-7605. Baroque violinist Rachel Ellen Wong, grand prize winner of the inaugural J.S. Bach competition, returns to the MSO to lead this triumph of Western art. Plus, you'll also hear gorgeous theatrical suites by 17th and 18th century masters Henry Purcell and Jean-Philippe Rameau. Don't miss the MSO in Vivaldi's The Four Seasons, January 31st through February 2nd at the Bradley Symphony Center. The number again for tickets is 414-291-7605 or online at mso.org.
Refi Trust is a financial strategy allowing you to refinance low-interest matured savings bonds, certificates of deposit, and whole life insurance cash value with zero taxes or fees. Let's face it, everyone in finance wants your money just like the taxman does. Refi Trust is one financial upgrade you can make for free. Zero cost, zero fees. Refi Trust blocks creditors, nursing homes, and Medicaid from attachment to your assets, allowing you to transfer and protect $15,000 immediately for future tax-exempt use and hundreds of thousands of dollars for future tax-exempt use after a few years. Refi Trust makes the process so simple, you won't believe you've left money vulnerable because you don't want to pay taxes. Refi Trust does all the work, making sure those assets are never taxed. Refinancing matured savings bonds, certificates of deposit, and whole life insurance takes just minutes. So what are you waiting for? Visit refitrust.com right now. Let's get started. Refi Trust. Your assets, your choice. refitrust.com. That's refitrust.com.
As long as Engine and Transmission Exchange exists, I will never take my vehicles anywhere else. That's part of a review from customer Jordan, who says they do great, trustworthy work every time, and I never feel like I'm getting taken. That has certainly been my experience and that of my family. In the time I've been endorsing them, ETE has become a family thing. Numerous family members now take their cars to Engine and Transmission Exchange, and we become loyal customers because Vince and his team really do give you that respect and loyalty back. WISN listeners talk as if they're doctors you turn to when you want a second opinion. Honest, timely, they save me money, kept me informed. They hear over and over again from WISN listeners who found ETE. They'll accurately diagnose your problem and will always work to save you money while doing the repair right. There are 2 ETE locations, West Evan and South 27th in Milwaukee. EngineTrans.com. It's and Transmission Exchange. EngineTrans.com.
Nation has been singing for distributing it's no I just went to see with the payments for 2 years. Hurry, this offer ends soon. Schedule now. Call 8698. Visit donation.com. That's 8690
It is Mark Ford. Abe Cronin, Chief Brand Officer of Moderna, weighs in on the speed of audio production.
In this day and age, and particularly at Moderna, where we have new information coming out on a regular basis, being able to feed that information to the audio format makes being nimble and pivoting easy, and that's what I really like about it.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to the audiences, influencers, insights, and data you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
Hey, it's Alec Baldwin. This season on my podcast, Here's the Thing, I speak with musician, photographer, and philanthropist Julian Lennon.
Photography really does allow me to do that. I have empathy for people on the other side of the world that you'll never, ever meet, but you'll at least have some understanding of what their life is and what they went through or are still going through.
Listen to Here's the Thing on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Here's the Thing and start listening.
Later on in the Dan O'Donnell Show, an update on what I consider to be the biggest electoral scandal in Wisconsin in quite some time, and certainly the biggest electoral scandal in America right now, and that is Susan Crawford, the candidate for the Wisconsin Supreme Court, and the Wisconsin Democratic Party openly colluding and promising their donors as well as the Democratic voting public that they will be able to strike down Wisconsin's congressional maps and gerrymander Brian Stile and Derek Van Orden right out of their congressional seats, giving Democrats 2 of the 4 seats that they would need in 2026 to retake the House of Representatives. Dan Bice of the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel has obtained the full email from this event that the New York Times first reported on Monday. We will get to that story, plus the highlights, or more accurately, lowlights from the RFK Jr. confirmation hearing today. Frankly, folks, if Democrats were trying to change the perception of them as being humorless, angry scolds, today wasn't their best day. We also have the unhinged liberal of the day coming up in about 10 to 15 minutes. We name the unsung hero of the day at the end of the 4 o'clock hour. In the 5 o'clock hour, we play America's favorite game show, Guess What's Racist. President Trump today announced an executive order in which he would send some of the worst criminal illegal immigrants to Guantanamo Bay.
I'm also signing an executive order to instruct the Departments of Defense and Homeland Security to begin preparing the 30,000-person migrant facility at Guantanamo Bay. Most people don't even know about it. We have 30,000 beds in Guantanamo to detain the worst criminal illegal aliens threatening the American people. Some of them are so bad we don't even trust the countries to hold them because we don't want them coming back, so we're going to send them out to Guantanamo. This will double our capacity immediately, right? And tough. That's a tough place to get out of. Today's signings bring us one step closer to eradicating the scourge of migrant crime in our communities once and for all. And it was just it's just an unforced error that we even have to be doing this. Now we need Congress to provide full funding for the complete and total restoration of our sovereign borders, as well as financial support to remove record numbers of illegal aliens.
All of it. As much funding as is needed needs to be appropriated right now. I'm not saying you send the suspected illegal alien drunk driver who killed his buddy and badly injured a couple in Beaver Dam over the weekend and also injured their 3 children. This is not who President Trump is talking about. But clearly, this guy, if and when he recovers, needs to be deported. Needs to be deported. Why would when people say, well, don't we want him spending time in an American prison so he can face justice? No. I don't want to spend money to house and feed this guy, ship him off to a Venezuelan prison. Frankly, I don't care. It is saying something, though, that the last 2 Democrat presidents tried their best to shut down Guantanamo Bay and to get rid of all of the terrorists who are being held there, while this president is the first ever to suggest using illegal immigrants, putting them there as a way of making sure they don't re-offend, re-victimize people in the United States. Now, while this is going on, the left is slowly starting to wake up from the shock and awe that I think it was suffering from ever since Election Day. I firmly believe the fact that Trump won and won the popular vote as well, and there was new polling today from Quinnipiac University that shows that the Democratic Party brand right now is toxic. The American people, this is Quinnipiac, this is about as left-leaning a poll as it gets. The American people generally 42, 43% approve Republicans, 42, 43, 44% disapprove. Democrats, 57% disapprove. Donald Trump had a 37% approval rating in his first full week in office back in 2017. Now he's got a 44% approval rating. He is above water. This is unheard of for Trump. This, by the way, is why the left has been focusing all their fire on Elon Musk. They also did polling on him. 52% disapproved of Elon being in Trump's administration. If you're wondering why all the focus has been on Elon and his supposed Nazi salute everywhere in media, including, it would seem, in the weather reports, that's why. Because they don't dare knock or go after President Trump because of how popular he is. But it seems as though the left is starting to wake up a little bit. We're starting to see sob stories about illegal immigrants living in fear. Sophie Carson of the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, Whitewater again finds itself the center of the immigration and deportation spotlight. When Jorge Islas Martinez first started getting calls from community members that federal immigration officers were conducting raids Thursday in his longtime home of Whitewater, he went out to try to find them. After 2 hours, he phoned someone he's close with to report there was no sign of any raids. They asked, "So it's okay to turn the lights back on?" Islas Martinez, a native of Mexico, is a fierce advocate for Whitewater's Latino population. The symbolism behind the question struck him. Fear forces immigrants, even those legally in the U.S., he said, to live in darkness. You know, Sophie Carson was really proud of that introductory paragraph. The story gets even more maudlin than that. Oh, the people whose very first action in this country was to break our laws is suddenly fearful of the consequences for breaking our laws. Do I have that right, Sophie? Do I have that right, Senor Islas Martinez? That we're very scared of the consequences of our actions, that eventually you might not be allowed to just sort of show up in a country, live there, demand all of the benefits that living there and being a citizen would entail without any of the risks and any of the actual potential consequences of violating our laws. I have that right, don't I? And by the way, those raids aren't targeting the poor, innocent, illegal community of Whitewater. They're targeting hardened criminals. So, yeah, I want them scared to turn the lights on. In fact, I want them so terrified that they're going back to their countries of origin, or hell, they can keep on going north to Canada for all I care. You don't get to be here, A, without following the rules and obeying the laws of getting and staying here. But certainly if you commit crimes that victimize other people, and by virtue of crossing illegally and using resources that are reserved for people who are citizens of the United States or lawful residents of the United States, you are victimizing all of them, because that pot of resources, and Democrats always love to talk about wealth as a zero-sum game. The rich only can get richer if the poor get poorer, because they have to necessarily take from the poor, right? Well, why don't we talk about that in the same way? Why don't we talk about the allocation of government resources, the money that we have for schools, the number of teachers that we have, firefighters, police officers, the amount of time that a police officer can spend on a given call, because that actually is a zero-sum game, since there's a finite amount of tax money that a government can pull in from a given populace. But the left never talks about that as when you get more people here, people who know, and to dispel the myth, they do not pay taxes. They don't have Social Security. Now, what do you think? They just kind of contact the IRS and say, hello, yes, I would like to voluntarily pay my fair share. Let me ask you, average lefty, if you weren't threatened with prison for not paying your taxes, how much do you suppose you would pay? But these people come in and they consume resources. They consume resources that are actually being taken from other people, but liberals never talk about it like that. We like to pretend that we have an infinite amount of resources. Now, how is that different? Well, in the private sector, wealth can actually be created. You could actually create a business that then generates revenue. It doesn't take from people. People voluntarily give you their money to get your product or get your service. You also are generating wealth by providing salaries. You're creating jobs for other people. Government can't do that. Government can only take. Government can only tax. Government can only collect and then redistribute. When there are more people to redistribute the government resources to, it is more difficult to get said government resources. We name the unhinged liberal of the day next here on the Dan O'Donnell Show.
Rapid traffic on News Talk 1130 WISN.
From the Lynch family of dealerships Total Traffic Center.
Stalled semi partially blocks the eastbound 894 exit ramp to 60th. You got a stalled vehicle on the right shoulder, 94 eastbound at 35th, and delays from 76th Street. I'm Kevin Henry. That's your latest total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's 2 faves for just $7. Right now at Wendy's, you can get 2 of these favorite items for just $7. Choose from their spicy or classic chicken sandwich, Dave's single, or 10-piece nugs. 2 fave items for $7. Gotta be Wendy's. Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Terms apply.
Not all products are available in all 50 states. Compounded products are not FDA approved nor verified for safety, efficacy, or quality. Wegovy and Ozempic are not compounded. Prescription required. Restrictions apply. See website for full details.
Why try Hims for weight loss? If you're interested in personalized prescription options, including Ozempic, Wegovy, oral medications, and compounded GLP-1 injections, and the support to see real results, you might like it. Yes. Why try Hims to regrow hair? If a range of treatment options made with clinically proven ingredients like minoxidil and finasteride for thicker, fuller hair in 3 to 6 months sound good, you might like it. Yes. Why try Hims for ED? If you've been looking for access to doctor-trusted treatments like Viagra, Cialis, and their more affordable generic counterparts, you and your partner might like it. The Hims process is simple, 100% online, and treatments are shipped free to your door in discreet packaging if prescribed. What's not to like? To save big on weight loss, hair loss, and ED solutions, get started today at Hims.com. That's Hims.com.
Hi, it's Jerry Bott. When I bought my SUV at Holiday Mazda, it was downright fun. And one reason was because it was so easy. Set up the test drive on Holiday's website, greeted at the door by a guest experience specialist, vehicle was ready, he showed me how it worked, great test drive, nailed down the financing, and boom, I bought the vehicle. Easy process, wonderful experience.
Make your drive into 2025 in a new Mazda from Holiday in Fond du Lac. During the New Year sales event, well-qualified buyers can lock in low 2.9% 5-year or 6-year financing on the raved-about luxurious 3-row Mazda CX-90 or the first-ever spacious and nimble 2-row Mazda CX-70. All-wheel drive is standard and plug-in hybrid models are included. Save even more if you or someone in your household already drives Mazda. Connect with Team Holiday for qualifying details. Take take a test drive. Find yours and drive it home today from Holiday Mazda Fond du Lac and HolidayMazda.com.
It's worth the trip.
Winning in the NFL comes down to the basics, blocking and tackling. In retirement, protection and income are the keys to success. Simply put, if you're nearing or in retirement, you can't afford a stock market crash. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons. Having played on winning teams with the Steelers and Falcons, studying game film was a key to success. Now I'm a best-selling author and star in a new groundbreaking documentary film called The Retirement Deception. It unveils how the Wall Street machine has been deceiving us for decades and proves you don't need to risk your nest egg in the market to have the retirement you deserve. This film shows you exactly how to protect your retirement from stock market drops and produce more income than you thought possible. I want you to watch this film for free. Call today for your free copy of The Retirement Deception. I think you would agree 30 to 40 years of saving for retirement is at least worth a phone call to watch this film and see how you can improve your retirement. Call today to speak with an all-pro retirement specialist to get your free copy of The Retirement Deception. Call 844-763-2896. That's 844-763-2896. MitchLyonsWealth.com. Your best game plan to protect, grow, and win retirement.
I'm board-certified plastic surgeon Michelle Bonas. You can look the way you feel inside without risking long-term side effects of injectable fat reduction therapies while saving money with Bonas Cool Sculpting and Cool Tone. Your body, your life, love it. drbonas.com.
Opinion, emotion, passion. This is News Talk 1130 WISN.
iHeartRadio is the easy-to-use app for music and radio. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
Securing America.
You may not live in a sanctuary state or county, but you still pay places like California and New York to incarcerate their criminal aliens through a program called SCAP. The State Criminal Alien Assistance Program is $230 million of taxpayer money given each year to states and counties to cover some of their costs for incarcerating illegal immigrants convicted of crimes. California gets $63 million a year, New York $18 million. Jessica Vaughan with the Center for Immigration Studies says that's absurd.
It's hypocritical for them to, with one hand, hold out their hand for federal funding to help pay for the costs of criminal aliens, and with the other hand, block ICE from the jailhouse door.
It's a program the incoming Trump administration is likely to eliminate for places that also block federal ICE agents from deporting criminal migrants. William Lajeunesse, Fox News.
A tour de force of truth. It is the Dan O'Donnell Show. Another exclusive story. A candidate forum for every candidate running to replace the late Jonathan Brostoff in the Milwaukee Common Council descends into chaos when one of those candidates says something the moderators can't handle. Right now, though, time to name the unhinged liberal of the day.
Make me crazy.
Trump is Hitler.
We are in pre-Nazi Germany. Make me crazy.
All white people are racist.
Does that make me crazy?
Trump is dangerous because he's evil.
America is in over.
Today's unhinged liberal of the day is one of my all-time favorite people, Tiffany Henyard. She is the mayor of Dolton, Illinois. If you don't remember the name, you probably remember this soundbite.
Y'all should be ashamed of y'all. Y'all black. Y'all are black. And y'all sitting up here beating and attacking on a black woman that's empowered. Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves. Y'all forget I am the leader. They want to hear from the mayor. If y'all ain't learned that yet. The mayor, not the trustees that don't do nothing, that only run their mouth. Y'all don't do no work, no work.
Well, last night, Henyard did some work. This. She got into a massive brawl with a number of her critics. More on this after the news. This is the Dan O'Donnell Show.
News that's factual, fair, and balanced. This is continuing coverage on News Talk 1130 WISN, Milwaukee.
Good afternoon. I'm Sean Maloney. President Donald Trump's budget office earlier today rescinded a memo freezing spending on federal grants. But this afternoon, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said the move simply meant a rescinding of the memo and not the order itself. Democrat lawmakers in Wisconsin are introducing a measure that is meant to stop immigration enforcement in certain spaces. The proposed bill would require law enforcement to get a warrant before going into places like schools, churches, and hospitals to take people into custody because of their immigration status only. Business news brought to you by the Good Feet store. The Dow is down 136.8 points, the S&P 500 down 28.4, and the NASDAQ was down 101.25 points. Checking the holiday automotive of Fond du Lac Sports scoreboard, the 9th-ranked Marquette Golden Eagles topped Butler last night 78-69, and the Badgers hit the road to take on Maryland tonight. From the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin News Center, I'm Sean Maloney on Wisconsin's most listened to radio station, News Talk 1130 WISN.
Here's the latest forecast presented by AdventKnows.com from the Fox 6 weather experts.
Windy and mild today with temperatures reaching into the low 40s. Wind gusts of 20 to 30 miles per hour will be possible. A few clouds tonight with lows in the 20s. Then we jump into the 50s on Thursday. I'm Fox 6 meteorologist Stephanie Barrichello.
This report is sponsored by Straight Talk Wireless. Don't let data limits hold you back from being the gift master in the family group chat. Switch to Straight Talk Wireless and get real unlimited data on a reliable 5G network. Straight Talk, available at Walmart or straighttalk.com.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother was saying he got life insurance from Ethos. With Ethos, it only took 10 minutes and he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit GetEthos.com. That's GetEthos.com.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy two. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Be sure to listen to the NX Wealth Management Investment Show Saturday mornings at 11 and Sunday afternoons at 1 on News Talk 1130 WISN. NX provides its expertise to arm listeners with the knowledge and tools to invest wisely. NX Wealth Management. Know the difference.
Jay Weber here. If you're someone who's experiencing shoulder, spine, hip, knee, or musculoskeletal pain and a total joint replacement might be in your future, think Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Find them at orthowisconsin.com. At Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, their physicians are committed to providing the highest quality of joint care and specialize in same-day total joint replacements at their own ambulatory surgery center in Pewaukee. You can find them at orthowisconsin.com. orthowisconsin.com. Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference.
I'm defense attorney Tom Grieve. If you drive drunk, you will be pulled over and you will be arrested. You cannot talk your way out of a DUI, but you can keep your mouth shut for your best defense. Call my team of award-winning former state prosecutors. You are only guilty if you are convicted. GrieveLaw.com.
What are 3 things you can do during a frozen Wisconsin winter? Well, you can go skiing, or do some ice fishing, or you can take a tropical vacation with Mr. Holland's Home Services. No, despite the rumors, we're not adding a travel agency to our robust roster of services. But with Mr. Holland's help, you can enjoy a tropical getaway this winter without ever leaving your home. Bring the heat of the beach into your abode with our top-notch heating repair, replacement, and maintenance. Relax to the soothing sounds of gently cascading water provided by our prestigious plumbers. Bask in the warm glow of revitalizing light, courtesy of Mr. Holland's expert electricians. Heating, plumbing, and electric. Or as we like to call it, the trifecta of tranquility. Escape to the tropics and rejuvenate your January with Mr. Holland's Home Services. 866-992-1717. Or visit MrHollandsHomeservices.com. Want to say aloha to Total Home Comfort? We can help.
Catering to all who appreciate quality installation, a great value, and the finest windows and doors. Your clear choice for more, Lisbon Storm Screen and Door. Find us at lisbonstorm.com.
Your clear choice for more, Lisbon Storm Screen and Door.
Hey, Sean Hannity here with the only real estate agent in your market that I recommend, Justin Hoffman with RE/MAX Lakeside. Now, thanks for joining me today. And what do you tell someone that wants to rent a home instead of selling it?
Sean, it's a great question, and we get asked it more than you think. We're actually experts in this field because we have a full-service property management company. We're going to break down the pros and the cons versus selling and renting with the client. If selling results in huge profits, most of the time those are tax-free, and that could be the better option. But if renting is a better solution for their situation, we have the services ready to rock and roll and get that property rented for absolute top dollar.
All right, thanks for keeping us up to date. If I needed to sell a home in Milwaukee, I'd call Justin Hoffman. Just go to wihomeeval.com. That's wihomeeval.com. Or just Google Team Hoffman and check out over 700 five-star reviews.
Get your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval to buy at accunet.com.
Conservative thought, not just talk. If you would like to join us, we advocate for free expression here. Unlike certain organizations in the city of Milwaukee that love to claim to be radically inclusive, but aren't when they're confronted by someone who thinks differently from them. Have you ever heard of the Zao MKE Church? I haven't either. It is a real thing. It is on Kenwood Boulevard. Honest to goodness, it seems like every parody of every left-wing church you have ever seen. But on Thursday, it hosted a candidate forum for the 8 candidates who are vying to replace the late Jonathan Brostoff on the Milwaukee Common Council. Brostoff tragically took his own life a few months back, opening up this seat. Well, one candidate said something that was just a bridge too far for this radically inclusive church, and they kicked him right out. We will do no such thing here on the Dan O'Donnell Show. We are so radically inclusive that we actually want leftists to call in and debate. I believe it was on this show last year that I was so desperate that I was offering $50. I said I would Venmo you $50, libs, if you would call in and actually debate me. Shockingly, no one did. We had a ton of people pretend to be liberals just so they could try to get $50. It was sort of like the old win Ben Stein's money. But we want to hear from you, and I promise, I will give you an open forum, although I have been getting an awful lot of hate messages. That's why, coming up in about 10 minutes, the most intelligent response Dan has heard today. And let me tell you, friend, it is a doozy. But we do want to hear from you, whether you're left, whether you're right, whether you're wrong. If you're left, you're probably wrong. Shoot us a call. Give us a text, 414-799-1130. That is the adventknows.com talk and text line, 414-799-1130. Reach us toll free, 1-800-838-9476. Email me directly, dod@iheartmedia.com, at Dan O'Donnell Show on X, where you can find the show streaming live, also on Facebook or our YouTube channel. And as a reward for listening to us, well, actually, not really. We do this every hour regardless, but you do need to be listening to get the Cold Hard Cash Contest word of the hour. And that word this hour is credit, C-R-E-D-I-T, credit. You have got until 55 past the hour to go to our website and enter the keyword credit. If your entry is picked at random, you will win $1,000 in cash instantly. On Thursday night, the 8 candidates who are running to replace Brostoff, Josh Anderson, Daniel Bauman, Alex Brower, Franco Ferrante, Aisha Griffin, Bryant Junko, Alexander Kostel, and Nas Musa gathered at Zao MKE Church for a candidate forum hosted by various left-wing groups, including Voces de la Frontera. Now, they picked the Zao MKE Community Church because of how beautifully liberal it is. On the website, they identify themselves as radically inclusive, saying the call for justice issued by the gospel of Jesus Christ is for the purpose of reconciling all things into the wholeness with God. To that end, we seek to build a radically inclusive community and world wherein all people are valued in the fullness of who God has made them to be, affirmed, celebrated, and loved. We explicitly affirm the life, value, and worth of LGBTQIA+ people and the movement for Black lives. The very first sermon that's available on the Zao MKE Instagram page is about this sort of radical inclusion, building communities with love and mutual support.
The courageous action demanded of you in this moment is to build networks of mutually accountable relationships, built on shared power and deep, profound commitment. What does it mean to live out the spirit of the teachings of Jesus in a way that your day-to-day actually looks like being super involved in the life of your community? Shared meals, checking in on one another, praying for one another. This is both kinship and the soul and leaven of society.
I could not agree more. That's why I was so disheartened that the radically inclusive church and the radically inclusive left-wing radical groups would not allow any sort of dissenting opinion from one of the candidates, even going so far as to throw him out of the forum when he answered a question on illegal immigration and deportation. That candidate was Bryant Junko, who just happens to be the only Republican in this race. Now, it is a nonpartisan race. Milwaukee Common Council seats are all nonpartisan, but come on, if you didn't know that Jonathan Brostoff was a far-left Democrat, you weren't following Milwaukee or Wisconsin politics. And this is a very left-wing district on Milwaukee's east side. Now, Junko, who I spoke to this afternoon, says he is, in fact, the child of immigrants. His grandfather defected from Cuba following the Castro Revolution, along with his dad, who was very young. His father, was born in Paris while they were living outside of Cuba. But he's from Cuban descent, and he said he is the proud descendant of immigrants. And he was just answering a question like the 7 other candidates about one of the hot button issues of the day, illegal immigration. Well, because Junko is a Republican and because he is sane on the issue of illegal immigration, he said, yes, it is okay to deport violent criminals who commit crimes. One of the organizers of the event absolutely flipped the flip out and shut him up instantly. This is audio recorded by Junko of the answer that led to his mic getting shut off and him being asked to leave the event.
So, again, just to be very clear, because, folks twist my words throughout this campaign. I am for immigration, okay? And let's be very clear, let's stop this divisive, false rhetoric, okay? Because these mass deportations, they're not targeting DACA dreamers, innocent immigrant children in schools. They're not. They're targeting violent criminals that have been...
Okay. I know there's a lot of echo there. He said, look, these deportations aren't targeting doctors and lawyers. They're targeting violent, hardened criminals. At this point, you can almost feel. There was no video. This was just audio recorded on Junko's cell phone. You could feel the angry murmur in the crowd rising at this point.
Convicted that have outstanding deportation orders.
Someone private. Stop it. Just stop. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You are talking to Wisconsin's largest grassroots organization.
I'm gonna pause real quick. I'm sorry, moderator. As one of the organizers and facilitators of this event, I'm grateful that you all showed up here. What I will not accept is bullying, gaslighting behavior of one of our many beautiful, beloved community members, especially in a place, I don't know if you saw these signs. This will be a safe space, and if you cannot respect that, I would ask you to leave, and I don't respect you.
All right, she actually said, I don't know if you saw the signs, pointing, I'm assuming, to signs saying this is a safe space at the MKE Zao Church. But she says, this is a safe space, and if you don't respect the sign, I will ask you to leave. Now, Junko is saying, what? Who did I disrespect? I am making a point that, by the way, 75 to 80% of Americans agree with, that we should be deporting violent, criminal, illegal aliens. The organizer would not stop. Every time Junko tried to answer and say, you're kind of bullying me by not letting me answer, she just got madder and madder.
Immigration.
Great. And we will stop right now. You made your point clear. You will not touch the answer of this question any longer. We will move on. And if you cannot abide by that, I will make sure you are escorted out of this building. Are we clear? Are we clear? It's just, are we clear?
I'm not going to be bullied by you, but I'm going to put the mic down.
You are the bully. I am standing up for the people that you are bullying. I'm not tolerating this.
We're all here to relay our opinions.
And you made it clear, and you offended someone, and this is a safe space, and we do not need to continue this.
That is what this form is for, man.
I will cut your mic in a second.
It's already cut. That's what this form is for all the candidates to come.
Do you want to leave or no? I'm ready to go. Do you want to leave?
Ma'am, that's what we all are here for, is to relay our...
You have one more time. I promise on everything you have one more time.
If I was Brian Junko, I would be genuinely scared that woman wouldn't just cut his mic, but cut his throat. She was getting unnaturally upset about the fact that he was saying, yeah, we probably shouldn't have dangerous people in this country. Now, unfortunately, Junko was unable to identify who that woman is or what group she was with. And frankly, I tried for a good hour today. So if I would like to invite that woman on, whoever she is. Now, the one rule, because I have reached out to the Zao MKE Church to ask about the decidedly not radically inclusive behavior inside the hallowed sanctuary of the church. I couldn't find any individual emails on the website, so I had to use their Contact Us form, you know, where you have to fill in your name, your phone number, your email address. Guess what else you have to fill in order to submit a question or comment to the Zao MKE Church? We have got producer Andrew filling in for Paul, who is on his listener cruise. Andrew, what do you think I needed to fill in addition to my name, my email address, and my phone number, just to leave a message for someone at the Zao MKE Church? My pronouns, that is correct. So I identified myself as Z-Zer-Zers. No, I actually didn't. I had it typed out and I was going to hit submit. And I thought, you know what? I actually do want an answer on this. Because frankly, that was pretty doggone aggressive for a church. Now, after the mic was cut off, this went on for a little while longer. And frankly, Junko was standing his ground. But eventually, they did, in fact, ask him to leave. That moderator, as well as another woman who, honest to goodness, looks exactly like you think she looks. I want you to listen to her voice, and I want you to picture what she looks like. And I guarantee you will be at least in the ballpark. They come up to Junko as the event was ending. That pretty much ended it. It just descended into chaos because he dared to answer a question honestly about what he believes about illegal immigration. Now, this threatened the sanctity of the liberal safe space. Folks, if there could be more stereotypical liberalism in this story, I'm not sure. I think the world would collapse in on itself like a dying sun. We would fold into the singularity if there was any more stereotypical, hilarious liberalism. These women confront Junko and say, you gotta leave. Why are you still here? Get out of here. You gotta leave. Poor Bryant, who seems like an incredibly nice guy, actually ended up offering to and then helping the woman who was screaming at him fold up tables. I can't believe this video is real, but alas, here it is.
First of all, I was invited to this event.
Yes, you were, and I was one of the inviters, and now I'm inviting you to leave.
I just stood up out of my chair.
Get out of here.
This gentleman hopped in my face, didn't even give me a chance to shake hands with my opponents respectfully.
I don't really care. Go home.
And
I don't want to hear it. Please go home.
Why was I invited to this event?
Unclear.
My story's been the same. My story has been the same.
I asked you to leave several times.
My story has been the same.
Several times. I'm just going.
My story has been the same.
I'm trying to guide you out. I'm trying to guide you out, sir. We can have the same conversation outside.
So why was I invited to this event? If I'm not welcome to this event, why was I not?
Earlier today,
why did I receive an email to this event?
You gotta go.
Why did I receive an email to this event?
You gotta go, sir.
Will you answer my question? Why did I receive an email to this event?
The lady who invited you just asked you to leave. She looked you in your face and asked you to.
Why did I receive an email?
I need you to just go. I need you to go.
This event?
I'm ready to go home. Everybody else ready to go home. We trying to clear this up. Can you leave so we can clear this up?
What do you mean clear this up? There's 100 people.
Are you gonna help? You gonna help us put these tables away?
I will.
Okay, let's go.
Absolutely.
Come on.
Yeah,
let's go.
And then he did. He helped him fold up the tables so they wouldn't throw him out of the radically inclusive church because he said things that they disagreed with. I will let you know if the Zao MKE church ever gets back to me. Because, and look, I know it was not, as near as I could tell, it was not one of the pastors. They were just using this space for the event. It is interesting, though. There were about 4 different local news reports on the candidate forum leading up to it. Junko told me that all of the news cameras left before all of this craziness unfolded. That's why there was no video of it. There were no news stories on it. Now, Junko has posted the video of the confrontation to his Facebook page. He got me the audio. I am going to try to transcribe it and put it to a video where we get some of the captions so you can better hear what's going on, because frankly, it is hilarious. And it just goes to show that radical inclusiveness on the left includes no inclusiveness for anyone who isn't on the radical left. You're listening to the Dan O'Donnell Show. If they get back to me, I'll let you know. I'm not banking on it.
Rapid traffic on News Talk 1130 WISN.
From the Lynch family of dealerships Total Traffic Center.
Delays building eastbound lanes of 894 between the Hale Interchange and 68th, westbound from the Mitchell Interchange to past 60th, up on 94 westbound heavy from the Marquette to the stadium, and eastbound 76 to 35th. I'm Kevin Henry. That's your latest Total Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Audible. Tap into your well-being with Audible audiobooks, podcasts, and originals. Expand your life with expert insight and motivation for better health, habits, relationships, finance, and more. Start listening free when you sign up for a 30-day trial at audible.com.
When the wildfires struck Los Angeles,
severe fire weather conditions.
First responders from near and far came to the rescue.
All fire departments and all law enforcement will be prepared.
Now the music community has joined together to help at Fire Aid, a historic fundraising concert for the recovery of Los Angeles. Tomorrow night, starting at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific, live on the free iHeartRadio app's Hit Nation station.
And give what you can now at fireaidla.org.
Dan O'Donnell here for Mander Collision and Glass, now with 7 locations to serve you. It's deer season in Wisconsin, but I'm not talking about hunting. I'm talking, unfortunately, about car crashes. If you're unlucky and get into a collision with a deer, you could be entered into Mander's Hit a Deer, Win a Deer contest. That's deer as in John Deere, as in a brand new John Deere tractor mower. My friends at Mander want to add some positivity to what can be a stressful, traumatic event. So now through February 28th, anyone who hits a deer and has their vehicle repaired at any Mander Collision location will be entered into a drawing for a new Deere tractor. Hit a Deer, Win a Deer, now through February 28th at all Mander locations. Start your repair today at mandercollision.com and find out why Mander truly is your best decision after a collision.
Call Callan to remodel your kitchen or bathroom or to repair windows and doors. Callan. Design, build, live. Call 414-529-5509. Visit callcallan.com or stop at its Muskego Design Center.
My quality of life is so different, but one of the first things that I noticed was my breathing. I don't ever remember being able to breathe like that.
Welcome to This Week with Annex Wealth Management. I'm Dan O'Donnell alongside the CEO of Annex, Dave Spano. And this week, of course, a new president is inaugurated. A new administration takes over. That will mean new policies on trade, on markets, on taxation, on regulation. Heck, Dave, even on what we call the Gulf of Mexico. I kind of have to admit the Gulf of America has a pretty nice ring to it.
And as long as we can stay with that theme, why don't we rename it Lake Wisconsin, instead of Lake Michigan? And in fact, while we're at it, let's take the UP back as well. But that's exactly right. There's so much going on, Dan, that we're going to have to watch, and it's going to be a lot that's going to change. And for sure, at the top of that is going to be remain in Mexico immigration plan. Certainly want to see what's going to happen with tax planning, deregulation, and the Federal Reserve. All of these are going to have a direct effect on the markets, on your pocketbook, how you plan going forward. And that really is a process of understanding where you are and where you want to be. So all of these facts and circumstances are going to change, Dan, over the next number of months. So let's stay with this. Let's stay on top of it. Make sure you know what you own, why you own it, how much you're paying for it, and exactly how to go through this process.
And the best way to do that is to head to annexwealth.com to get a review of your portfolio. It's called a wealth metric. It is absolutely free because no matter who it is that's in charge of tax policy, no matter who it is that's in charge of deregulating industries, it always comes down to how you're positioned to deal with the inevitable, and that is change in Washington, D.C., in Madison, Wisconsin, heck, somewhere in the middle of the Upper Peninsula of Wisconsin. There will always be change, and we will always be here to help you navigate it. For Dave Spano, CEO of Annex, I'm Dan O'Donnell. This has been This Week with Annex Wealth Management.
For more information about contests on News Talk 1130 WISN, go to newstalk1130.com/rules. All programs on News Talk 1130 WISN are broadcast through the Annex Wealth Management Studios. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference.
just had an email come in, and you know how it kind of pops up on your screen? I was excited for a split second. I thought it was going to be they or them. Getting back to me from the Zao MKE Church, the radically inclusive home of a candidate forum. Well, I know who I'm supporting in the, I don't really endorse candidates, but I do know who I am now supporting in the race to replace the late Jonathan Brostoff. There are 8 candidates, but if you live on Milwaukee's east side, you do? Oh, Andrew, who is sitting in for Paul producing me today on loan from 97.3 The Game, you went to UWM and you know where this church is. I mean, I know the address. Yeah, it's right across from the student. Okay, that's what I thought it was that far east. It's right across from the student union, and it's every bit as crazy and then some. All right, I've settled it. This Sunday, I hope my pastor will forgive me. I hope I will get a dispensation. I'm going to go in a costume. Would it be too much if I wore a sombrero and some sandals? Would that be too obvious? I want to go to this sermon. I'm not kidding you. I want to go to this church. What do you mean you don't know? Where's your spirit of adventure, Andrew? You're a young man. They're so open. They're so inclusive. And I'm sure if they unmask me Scooby-Doo style and realize that I'm actually Dan O'Donnell and might actually have some thoughts that differ from theirs, because they're so radically inclusive, they will accept me for who I am. Just like they did with Bryant Junko. Take a listen.
Stop right now. You made your point clear. You will not touch the answer of this question any longer. We will move.
Okay, can we just stop and appreciate the genius of, you will not touch the answer of this question any longer? That is just a fantastic turn of phrase. I don't know what it means. I don't think she does either. I think she was so angry that words were just sort of coming out of her mouth, but I love it.
And if you cannot abide by that, I will make sure you are escorted out of this building. Are we clear? Are we clear? It's just, are we clear?
I'm not going to be bullied by you, but I'm going to put the mic down.
You are the bully. I am standing up for the people that you are bullying. I'm not tolerating this.
How did Junko bully they, them? By saying it's okay to deport criminal illegals. It is acceptable to enforce this nation's laws. Oh, I'm sorry. You thought the lefties were getting saner? You thought that they were starting to learn the lessons from the presidential election? You really thought that, huh? Well, then one of the top Democrat strategists, Jenna Arnold, comes around on CNN and says, we need illegal immigrants in this country because if we don't have them, white liberal women won't have blueberries for their smoothies.
I can't wait until American women can't get blueberries for their smoothies. I cannot wait until there is a full crackdown on all small businesses, as if that's going to be the solution to the immigration problem.
Okay, I might have taken that point a little bit more seriously if she didn't make it like this. I can't wait until you all can't get your blueberries, and you'll have to settle for what? What are you going to settle for? Crunch berries? Those don't make for very good smoothie ingredients. We need those illegals to pick the blueberries. Huh? What do you say to that? Can't argue with that, can you? You want illegals? You don't want illegals? Well, then you don't get blueberries either. They have learned nothing! And I love it. Back, RFK hearings coming up next on the Dan O'Donnell Show.
Rapid Traffic on News Talk 1130 WISN.
Now, here's traffic from Tri-City National Bank, your hometown bank. Call the Tri-City Total Traffic Tip Line at 414-944-5111.
Look at it, 13 minutes either side of 43 between the Marquette and Brown Deer. Westbound on 94, jammed over to Mitchell Boulevard, 20 over to Moreland, and you got a 16-minute trip eastbound, slow 84th to 35th. I'm Kevin Henry. That's your latest total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Audible. Tap into your well-being with Audible audiobooks, podcasts, and originals. Expand your life with expert insight and motivation for better health, habits, relationships, finance, and more. Start listening free when you sign up for a 30-day trial at audible.com.
It's the Mark Belling Football Preview Podcast. Mike Millett of American Sports Analysts and I preview the football weekend and give you point spread picks with a special focus on the Packers and Badgers. My producer Paul and an audience contestant make their picks too. A weekend football preview from a betting perspective. My weekly football preview and picking contest is a podcast too. The Mark Belling Football Preview Podcast drops every Thursday evening at 6:30. Available all weekend.
Attorney Tom Grieve here for Divergent Family Law. You really believed your paths were one and the same until death do you part. Your best interest was their best interest. Increasingly, it's clear you are on divergent paths, having grown apart in interests, goals, even morality. Having made it through the latest battery of holidays, you're now resolved to make your own way. Divergent Family Law is experienced attorneys who will make sure your path is not the lesser of two traversed as you go separate ways. Wisconsin statutes have no provisions for love, hate, or anger. Divorce is the disassembly of a legal contract, the division of assets, and the legal assignment of responsibility for property that cannot be physically divided. No judge or parent can split children in two, physically or emotionally. Family law is experiential. With Divergent Family Law, the outcome is predictable. Our attorneys can tell you up front with considerable accuracy the details of your divorce decree because we know Wisconsin family law. We know the adjudicators and we know your rights. Divergent Family Law. Separate and equal or better. DivergentFamilyLaw.com.
Hey, Dan O'Donnell for Mander Collision and Glass, now with 7 locations to serve you across the greater Milwaukee area. Start your repair right now at mandercollision.com. Mander truly is the best decision after a collision.
I'm board-certified plastic surgeon Michelle Boness. You can look the way you feel inside without risking long-term side effects of injectable fat reduction therapies while saving money with Boness Cool Sculpting and Cool Tone. Your body, your life, love it. drboness.com.
I'm Kelly Lammert from Clean Living Environments. Virtually everyone who cleans ducts repairs and sells air conditioners, furnaces, water heaters, or whatever. Duct cleaning is secondary. Clean Living Environments, partners for your comfort and health and your economy. Our superior agitation, high power suction gets more of everything you don't want in ducts out than suction alone can. We're happy with a fair day's pay for a fair day's work. We charge less for superior duct cleaning. Once ducts are Clean Living Environments clean, our ducts-only technicians can seal them. Neighboring states give $500 energy bill credits for existing homeowners who have ducts sealed because sealing saves natural gas waste forever, helping heated or cooled air get where it's supposed to be. If you've been quoted for duct cleaning, I personally guarantee Clean Living Environments will get more out of your ducts, charging less. With natural gas prices skyrocketing upward, Clean Living Environments AeroSeal duct cleaning is a prudent, long-term home budget saver. Get more out of your ducts. CleanLivingEnvironments.com. That's cleanlivingenvironments.com.
When Flawless Flooring installs luxury vinyl plank, hardwood, modern laminate, or carpeting, I personally guarantee your satisfaction with every step from shopping through installation. I'm Flawless Flooring's president, Dave Brownsdorf, and I approve this message. Sensory Underload Flawless Flooring. FlawlessFlooringLLC.com.
Well, that's why you have to check out our website. We're pretty proud of our before and after photos because they show off just how good we really are. I can confidently say that whatever you bring us, we're going to use every bit of magic we have to turn it into a one-of-a-kind work of art. So if you're looking for the finest in furniture finishing and heirloom restoration, by golly, it's Mullally. Mullally Furniture Finishing and Repair. Serving everywhere. Quality counts. MULLALY finishing.com. If it's worth restoring, we're going to tell you. If it's not worth the cost of restoring, then we're going to give you an honest answer. You don't stay in the furniture finishing business for nearly 50 years unless you're honest and talented. Luckily, we're both, and that means all of your expectations will be met. So if you want only the finest in furniture finishing and heirloom restoration, by golly, it's Mullally. Mullally Furniture Finishing and Repair. We're no job's too small. Serving everywhere. Quality counts.
Identity Theft Awareness Week is here. There's a victim of identity theft every 3 seconds. 3 seconds. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second and will fix identity theft guaranteed or your money back. Plus, plans include the $1 million protection package with up to $3 million in coverage for the most comprehensive plan. Take control of your identity with LifeLock. Save up to 40% off your first year with my name, Clay, as the promo code at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
The new iHeart app.
Yeah, I've been playing around with it.
Love my radio. Love my presets.
Thank you.
This is really easy to use.
Join the millions already on the new and improved iHeartRadio app and set your first preset. Plus, discover the new live radio dial, scan, lyrics, podcasts, playlists, and your favorite artist's radio.
Open the app and everything's right there. I love it.
The new and improved iHeartRadio app. It's everything you love about your car radio in the palm of your hand.
Go get it. iHeartRadio.
I'm telling you, folks, liberals cannot help themselves. I suspect they were saying in the early 1860s, if that evil Lincoln frees the slaves, who will pick our cotton? They cannot stop saying, if you deport illegal immigrants, who? Oh, who will do our menial labor for us? Jenna Arnold is a Democrat strategist. She's just the latest to say, you better watch out, Trump. You don't want to anger the bougie smoothie voting bloc.
I can't wait until American women can't get blueberries for their smoothies. I cannot wait until there is a full crackdown on all small businesses, as if that's going to be the solution to the immigration problem.
You almost cannot believe that these people are real. They are, and I, for one, am thankful that they are. I could not, for the life of me, find my montage. We have a whole bunch of Democrats who can't stop saying the exact same thing. Governor Evers earlier this month said, if you don't have illegals, nobody's going to be there to milk the cow.
In Wisconsin, 70% of our farms are dealing with 70% of the people that may be part of.
Okay, I'm sorry. Governor, I have played this soundbite like 15 times since January 6th when he said, spit it out. Just spit it out what you're going to say. Just say it.
Maybe part of the federal government's idea to move them elsewhere, like out of our country.
All right.
Think about that.
All right, here we go.
How in the hell would we continue to be the dairy state when there's nobody there to milk the cows and do the other important work?
Other important work, like also cleaning up the cow chips, which appears to be the extent of work that Democrats think illegal immigrants are capable of doing. You think that's harsh? You think I'm lying? Here is a minute straight of people like Jerry Nadler, Pramila Jayapal, Democrats all, Hank Johnson, all saying the same thing. We need illegals for near slave labor.
I wish, if people, when they hear immigration, I think a lot of people, the first thing they think of is the border. The first thing we should think of is workforce.
Immigrants pick the food we eat, rebuild our communities after climate disasters, help construct our infrastructure, power our small business economy, clean our homes, and look after the most precious in our families, our children and our elders.
We do not eat without immigrant labor.
That's right.
You do not have houses without immigrant labor.
That's right.
You do not have highways or bridges without immigrant labor.
That's right.
Our vegetables would rot in the ground if they weren't being picked by many immigrants, many illegal immigrants.
If you turn them away, if all of them were turned away and you have no immigration, then we would have no food on our plates. We would have nobody taking care of the building, the construction of our homes. We would have nobody cleaning up in the hospitals.
You notice they never say we would have nobody taking care of patients in our hospitals as doctors or nurses or physician's assistants. They always go to the janitor. Now, there's nothing wrong with janitorial services at all, at all. My motto is, in fact, if you are working a job, you are contributing to society, okay? Frankly, the world needs janitors a whole hell of a lot more than it needs talk show hosts. And I am well aware of this, that in a post-apocalyptic world, I really don't have much of a... I can either be a warlord or a warlord's propagandist. And that's pretty much all I would be good for. Like, my family and I were watching this post-apocalyptic show, Silo, where all of humanity, there's like 10,000 human beings left, and they all live in this giant underground silo. And they're governed by this shadowy, secret group that wants to keep them in the silo and tries to convince them that the world outside, the air is poison and all of this. If I was living in the silo, like everybody has a job, they're in mechanical or judicial or IT or whatever, I'm thinking to myself, oh man, they would sacrifice me for food real quick. If they're resorting to cannibalism, I'm probably one of the useless ones that could go. But the fact that Democrats just can't stop saying these people are good for manual labor that we would never, ever, ever do reveals just a level of callous racism that belies how much they claim to care about people. If you claim to care about people, you would want the violent, awful human beings out of this country and away from the people they can victimize. If you cared about the children of illegal immigrants that are making this long journey northward, you would try to prevent them from ever making that journey because they're going right into the clutches of drug cartels that have taken over the human smuggling operations. They are trafficking women, children all over the country for the exact manual labor that all those Democrats are. Do you think they do that stuff because they want to? Or do they have to pay back large sums of money that they're giving to drug cartels and need to get as much work as humanly possible? Oh, they're sending so much money back to Mexico. Do you know where a whole lot of that money goes? Right back to the coyotes that got them north. It's remarkable how much liberals concoct a fantasy world for themselves that doesn't get anywhere near to where reality is. But then their power for the last 4 years has been to force their delusions on the rest of society through their control of traditional and social media and their ability to censor speech. That at its heart, I think, was the theme of today's RFK confirmation hearings. And if you could distill it down to exactly one exchange, it would be this.
I got a real quick question for you. Are you a conspiracy theorist?
That's it. That is the one question. RFK's answer, brilliant.
That is a pejorative, Senator, that's applied to me, mainly to keep me from asking difficult questions of powerful interests. I was told that I was a conspiracy theorist. That label was applied to me because I said that the vaccines, the COVID vaccine, didn't prevent transmission and it wouldn't prevent infection, when the government was telling people, Americans, that it would. I was saying that because I was looking at the monkey studies in May of 2020. I was called a conspiracy. Now everybody admits it. I was called a conspiracy theorist because I said red dye caused cancer. And now FDA has acknowledged that and banned it. I was called a conspiracy theorist because I said fluoride lowered IQ. Last week, JAMA published a meta-review of 87 studies saying that there's a direct inverse correlation between IQ loss.
All right, so I'm going to assume
I could go on for about a week.
Is there any one of them that you can say, you got me? That really was a conspiracy theory? Or are you in a position?
Not yet. You notice RFK had to be interrupted because he could just keep going. What's that joke? What's the difference between a conspiracy theorist and mainstream thought? About 6 months? Think about it. COVID-19 escaping from the Wuhan Institute of Virology. Dangerous conspiracy theory when Trump was saying it. You don't suppose he might have inside knowledge that Jim Acosta at CNN doesn't have, do you? That was a conspiracy theory. Until now, everybody just sort of, yeah, it was from the lab. As RFK said, COVID vaccine. It doesn't seem to be stopping the spread. It doesn't stop transmission. It doesn't seem to be overly effective. It's a conspiracy theory. It's dangerous. Until we needed about 50 different boosters. Red dye. All of it. The difference is, do we have any reason to trust our government, especially our health establishment? We'll have more from the RFK confirmation hearings in the 5 o'clock hour. Next, it's the unsung hero of the day.
Rapid traffic on News Talk 1130 WISN.
From the Lynch Family of Dealerships Total Traffic Center.
Eastbound on A94, still got a stalled semi on the right shoulder of the exit ramp to 60th Street. Also, 4194 southbound, a stalled truck on the exit to Highway G. Stay on the left side of that ramp. I'm Kevin Henry. That's your latest total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Hubie and Abraham. Voted best. Rated best. Hubie.com.
Injured? Do you want the best? Remember the name Hubie and Abraham.
Everyone I know told me they're the best. I would give them a lot of stars.
More than a 5-star rating.
Call Hubie and Abraham. 800-800-5678. Or go to Hubie.com right now.
I'm Dr. Dan Ross of Ross Dental New Berlin and our second Ross Dental Waukesha location. In dentistry, technology improves your experience ongoing if your dentist keeps up. We do. Most dentists finish same-day dental restorations the next visit, or the visit after that, after you're fitted with a temporary restoration. At Ross Dental, you come in with one tooth or teeth in need of substantial restoration and leave the same day with a fully restored, beautiful smile. With Ross's Sedation Dentistry, we can even replace a whole upper or lower arch of severely damaged or decayed teeth painlessly and quickly. Using Ross Dental's cutting-edge CEREC, I scan your prep tooth and send the precise AutoCAD-generated dimensions to our in-house mill. You relax. A filling or crown matching your natural tooth enamel is fabricated in minutes for perfect same-day, healthful, permanent restoration. With Ross Dental's affordable financing and convenient New Berlin and Waukesha locations, you can schedule same-day restorations, and very soon you'll smile like you just don't care, because you don't. RossDentalWI.com. That's RossDentalWI.com.
I added all my presets just like in my car. This is great.
We know you're loving the new preset feature on the new and improved iHeartRadio app. See it now, along with even more great features. It's everything you love about your car radio in the palm of your hand.
iHeartRadio.
Hi, it's Jerry Bott. When I bought my SUV at Holiday Mazda, it was downright fun. And one reason was because it was so easy. Set up the test drive on Holiday's website, greeted at the door by a guest experience specialist, vehicle was ready, he showed me how it worked, great test drive, nailed down the financing, and boom, I bought the vehicle. Easy process, wonderful experience.
Make your drive into 2025 in a new Mazda from Holiday in Fond du Lac. During the New Year sales event, well-qualified buyers can lock in low 2.9% 5-year or 6-year financing on the raved-about luxurious 3-row Mazda CX-90 or the first-ever spacious and nimble 2-row Mazda CX-70. All-wheel drive is standard and plug-in hybrid models are included. Save even more if you or someone in your household already drives Mazda. Connect with Team Holiday for qualifying details. Take a test drive, find yours, and drive it home today from Holiday Mazda Fond du Lac and holidaymazda.com.
It's worth the trip.
What we've found is that when you have workers who feel valued, you get better results. This is why good people and good culture should matter to anyone looking for an exterior remodeling company they can trust. It's going to be your experience and the end result that gives you peace of mind, because you'll know your work was done by people who care. We realized early on that if we were going to change the reputation of this industry for the better, that finding good workers that you could trust to do great work was going to be the key. We're attracting good people every day because we take care of our people. We want to make sure they feel important because they are. And we're going to make sure you feel important and valued too, with excellent customer service and high quality work. This is Brad Youngluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
Transform your home in one weekend with paint from Menards. Get a paint that combines durability with gorgeous color. Dutch Boys Forever Interior Paint and Primer in One offers powerhouse protection with its stain-blocking, odor-reducing technology. And with Dutch Boys Easy Opening, Smooth Pouring Container. Transforming your home has never been easier. View our entire selection of Dutch Boy paint, plus great deals in our weekly flyer on Menards.com.
Save big money at Menards.
Latest news. And let's get right to it. This is just breaking right now, a major development.
Exclusive investigations.
That has been confirmed by multiple sources. It is a story you will hear only right here.
In-depth analysis.
But I did some digging on this and found the truth.
And plenty of fun.
And it's time now for the strangest stories of the past week.
The Dan O'Donnell Show. Weekday afternoons 3 to 6 on News Talk 1130 WISN. We report. You decide. Factual, fair, and balanced coverage. Your exclusive home of Fox News Radio. This is News Talk 1130 WISN.
After the top of the hour, you know, folks, I hate to do this. I may have to make an executive decision. We may have to pass on Guess What's Racist. I don't want to, but I have got so much stuff that I need to get to. We've got more audio sound bites from the RFK confirmation hearing. We have got President Trump making some news today. We have got an update on the ongoing scandal involving the Susan Crawford for Supreme Court Justice campaign. The Democrats openly trying to use that race to gerrymander two Republican congressmen right out of their seats and effectively rig the 2026 midterms. We have also got new national report cards that show just how badly Wisconsin schools are doing. You might remember the DPI head, Jill Underly, who faces re-election. She unilaterally changed state standards to make it near impossible to compare to national standards. We now know why, because Wisconsin schools suck compared to their counterparts from out of state. All of that coming up right now, though. It's time to name the unsung hero of the day. And today's unsung hero is Bryant Junko. He's not only the lone Republican running for Milwaukee Common Council in the late council member Jonathan Brostoff's East Side radical leftist district, but he was courageous enough to stand up for his beliefs and say what he believed, even in the most radically exclusive area of town. A church, Zao MKE, and a group, Voces de la Frontera, that may bill themselves as being radically inclusive, but are in actuality anything but. In an exclusive story earlier this hour, we told you the story of Junko, who was asked a question about deportations and dared to answer honestly. This is how the group attempted to silence him, the moderators.
Stop right now. You made your point clear. You will not touch the answer.
bullied by you, but I'm going to put the mic down.
You are the bully. I am standing up for the people that you are bullying. I'm not tolerating this.
How brave, standing up against anyone who would dare disrupt the old group think. Kudos to Bryant Junko for being such a brave individual to say what he believes, even in the hive of leftism. He is your unsung hero of the day.
News that's factual, fair, and balanced. This is continuing coverage on News Talk 1130 WISN, Milwaukee.
Good afternoon. I'm Sean Maloney. President Donald Trump says he will order the construction of a mass detention camp that can hold 30,000 deportees at the Guantanamo Bay Naval Base. Trump said the massive camp would detain the worst criminal illegal aliens threatening the American people and would be a tough place to get out of. More details on the Heartland Schools bus driver who was arrested Monday after refusing to make stops with kids on board. Heartland police are now saying the driver was not drunk, but there was something else that had them arrest the driver for OWI. Dozens of dogs that had to be evacuated due to the wildfires in California are now being cared for in Wisconsin. They will be placed up for adoption once they are clear. Checking the holiday automotive of Fond du Lac Sports scoreboard, the 17th ranked Wisconsin Badgers men's basketball team hits the road to take on Maryland later this evening, and Marquette topped Butler 78-69 last night. From the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin News Center, I'm Sean Maloney on Wisconsin's most listened to radio station, News Talk 1130 WISN.
Here's the latest forecast presented by AdventKnows.com from the Fox 6 weather experts.
Windy and mild today with temperatures reaching into the low 40s. Wind gusts of 20 to 30 miles per hour will be possible. A few clouds tonight with lows in the 20s. Then we jump into the 50s on Thursday. I'm Fox 6 meteorologist Stephanie Barrick.
By Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Perfect for instant contact with an aging parent. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get an extra 60% off, free UPS shipping, and add code RADIO for an extra 5% off.
Welcome to This Week with Annex Wealth Management. I'm Dan O'Donnell alongside the CEO of Annex, Dave Spano. And this week, of course, a new president is inaugurated. A new administration takes over. That will mean new policies on trade, on markets, on taxation, on regulation. Heck, Dave, even on what we call the Gulf of Mexico. I kind of have to admit the Gulf of America has a pretty nice ring to it.
And as long as we can stay with that theme, why don't we rename it Lake Wisconsin, instead of Lake Michigan? And in fact, while we're at it, let's take the UP back as well. But that's exactly right. There's so much going on, Dan, that we're going to have to watch, and it's going to be a lot that's going to change. And for sure, at the top of that is going to be remain in Mexico immigration plan. Certainly want to see what's going to happen with tax planning, deregulation, and the Federal Reserve. All of these are going to have a direct effect on the markets, on your pocketbook, how you plan going forward. And that really is a process of understanding where you are and where be. So all of these facts and circumstances are going to change, Dan, over the next number of months. So let's stay with this. Let's stay on top of it. Make sure you know what you own, why you own it, how much you're paying for it, and exactly how to go through this process.
And the best way to do that is to head to annexwealth.com to get a review of your portfolio. It's called a wealth metric. It is absolutely free because no matter who it is that's in charge of tax policy, no matter who it is that's in charge of deregulating industries, it always comes down to how you're positioned to deal with the inevitable, and that is change in Washington, D.C., in Madison, Wisconsin, heck, somewhere in the middle of the Upper Peninsula of Wisconsin. There will always be change, and we will always be here to help you navigate it. For Dave Spano, CEO of Annex, I'm Dan O'Donnell. This has been This Week with Annex Wealth Management.
We're the Libby family
at Do-It-Yourself Bathroom Center near State Fair on 62nd and Greenfield.
We're not a home center.
Everyone here is an expert who really knows their stuff.
Plus, nobody beats our prices. Remember our slogan,
I did it myself at Do It Yourself.
So the body knows that it needs to heal itself, but it doesn't know how to concentrate it and target it into just one area. So that's where we come in.
By we, Dr. Ashley Caravelli means the nation's leader in regenerative medicine, QC Kinetics.
We put in those treatments, then it sends out like little signalers to your body. We're able to make the body focus on the areas that need the most healing.
QC Kinetics has gathered brilliant medical minds like Dr. Caravelli and Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, a pioneer in the field of regenerative medicine, to lead the way in these innovative pain treatments.
So at QC Kinetics, we have a whole team working nationwide with cutting-edge research to reach our patients and treat them and know that surgery is no longer their only option.
The consultation is free. Find out if you're a candidate. Call QC Kinetics today.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Verneri Award-winning home renovating.
Kowal Investment Group is a registered investment advisor. Call 262-522-4040.
News about you and your money.
The business report from the Kowal Investment Group.
Good evening. This is Certified Financial Planner Chauncey Weisensell with your evening business report. The major averages fell today after the Federal Reserve's decision to hold interest rates where they are for the time being and reevaluate at the next meeting in March. Data between now and then will set the tone for the next big decision. Meanwhile, shares of Trump Media rose over 7% after the Truth Social parent announced it is expanding into financial services, including potentially investing in crypto. At the close, the Dow was down 137 points to 44,713. The Nasdaq was down 101 points, and the S&P 500 fell 28 points. When was the last time you had a second opinion in your financial plan? Get that second opinion with us by scheduling your no-obligation review online at thekowalway.com.
It's been a good show. It's been energetic. It's been fun. We started with some just tragic news. Two-car crash, an illegal immigrant drunk driver suspected of being the culprit. We had some fun, another exclusive story. The one Republican running for a common council seat actually kicked out of a candidate for him at a radically inclusive leftist church for daring to speak truth. I don't know what it is. I think, everybody, it's not just me. I feel like people are really, what's the word? What is... Everybody just feels, everybody just feels, oh, I've got it. Chuck Schumer just reminded me. Everybody's aroused.
People are aroused. I haven't seen people so aroused in a very, very long time.
Yes, that is a real quote. It is from his press conference today. People are just so doggone aroused over democracy or something.
People are aroused. I haven't seen people so aroused in a very, very long time in terms of trying to get this done. So, yes, I think democracy will have an effect, and we are going to keep at it.
Is there like a little red, white, and blue pill that you can take to get yourself more aroused for democracy, or how does that work? I will get you aroused right now. Oh, God, no, not like that. I meant for money, for a contest, for cash, It's the cold, hard cash. No. The cash contest. Just happens to be called the cold, hard cash contest. But you will be aroused if you get a check for $1,000 when you enter the keyword check, C-H-E-C-K, check. All you have to do is enter the keyword check on our website. That's newstalk1130.com. If you are listening to us in Milwaukee and Madison, WIBA.com. If your entry is picked at random, you will win $1,000 in cash instantly. And I'm actually not sure. Is it automatically transferred to you? Is it in the form of a check? I know we don't just get you a wad of $100 bills. I don't know. We've got so many winners. I'm sure some of them at least will reach out and tell me. All right. Well, if it wasn't one Democrat talking about people being so doggone aroused.
People are aroused. I haven't seen people so aroused in a very, very long time.
It was another one furious about onesies. Onesies. That's right. The thing babies wear. You snap at the bottom so it's easy to change the diaper. Onesies. Everybody knows what a onesie is. Bernie Sanders, though, is very mad that an organization that RFK Jr. founded is selling unvaxxed baby onesies. Now, RFK resigned from his organization. He has no control over what they sell, but it didn't matter. Bernie wanted to know, do you or do you not support the onesie?
Can you tell us now that you will, now that you are pro-vaccine, that you're going to have your organization take these products off the market?
Senator, I have no power over that organization. I'm not part of it. I resigned from the board.
Yeah, that was just a few months ago. You founded that. You certainly have power. You can make that call. Are you supportive of this?
I've had nothing to do with
leadership. Are you supportive of these onesies?
I'm supportive of vaccines.
Are you supportive of this clothing, which is militantly anti-vaccine?
I am supportive of vaccines. I will. I want good science, and I want to protect.
But you will not tell the organization you founded not to continue selling that product. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
It's like, what is this? The old McCarthy hearings? Are you or have ever been a seller of onesies? Do not lie to this committee, Mr. Kennedy. I did not think Democrats could beclown themselves any further today. But Bernie's fellow socialist, Elizabeth Warren, well, she was really concerned about Big Pharma. This is the same Elizabeth Warren who spent almost her entire early political career railing against greed of Big Pharma, saying we needed to rein in Big Pharma, but who is now concerned that RFK Jr., as Secretary of Health and Human Services, would do just that and use the power of the government to rein in the power of Big Pharma.
I'll comply with all the ethical guidelines.
That's not the question. You and I, you have said
you're asking me, Senator, you're asking me not to sue vaccine pharmaceutical companies. Yeah, you are. That's exactly what you're doing.
Look, no one should be fooled here. As Secretary of HHS, Robert Kennedy will have the power to undercut vaccines and vaccine manufacturing across our country. And for all of his talk about follow the science and his promise that he won't interfere with those of us who want to vaccinate his kids, the bottom line is the same. Kennedy can kill off access to vaccines and make millions of dollars while he does it. Kids might die, but Robert Kennedy can keep cashing in.
Just for the record, that was Bobby Jr. clearing his nose while Liz Warren was ranting, and not me. Bobby is going to kill kids to line his own pockets. This is the same woman who was saying that Big Pharma was keeping people sick, keeping kids sick, not caring if kids die, while Big Pharma executives line their own pockets. Bobby today said all of these people questioning me now, all of these people impugning my character, calling me a conspiracy theorist, that is, are people who agreed with me until the exact moment that I ran against old Joe and then decided to be a Trump supporter. And it's true. On the issue of health, on the issue of the government's relationship with pharmaceutical companies and research and development and liability for vaccine or other treatment medicinal injuries that vaccine companies or drug makers need to pay out, the entire system of over-reliance on pills instead of a focus on a healthier lifestyle. These are all things. This was all mainstream Democrat thought until all of a sudden Donald Trump was what? On the side of the crazies and saying, hey, every vaccine that has ever been developed has had side effects. That doesn't mean that we don't use them. And yes, maybe it is a little concerning that we're rushing these ones into mass production without the standard cycle of, a decade plus of testing. That's all reasonable. Now, the Nicki Minaj's of the world who said, I'm not getting the vaccine because my cousin in the Barbados and whose testicles got so swollen he couldn't get married. That was a real tweet by the rapper Nicki Minaj. Google that. Actually, don't if you've got kids around. It was hilarious. It was mega viral back in 2020. But questioning those in power, especially pharmaceutical companies. I mean, it's remarkable how in the era of Trump, the left has cozied up to what were its biggest enemies. Big Pharma, the FBI, the CIA, corporate America. It's just they are so willing to abandon what one might have thought were their deepest held beliefs just for political gain and political one-upsmanship. And that's all that this was today. Does Bobby Kennedy, and for the record, Bobby Kennedy has his whole thing for like 4 decades was that he didn't believe in vaccinations. That doesn't mean that the guidance from the Department of Health and Human Services is necessarily going to change. That doesn't mean that state guidance is going to change. Also, I don't know if you knew this, but you are free to get whatever vaccinations you want to get. And that's sort of how America works, or at least it did before COVID-19, that you could get a vaccine if you wanted to. You could opt out for religious, or here in Wisconsin, among a number of other states, we have just a conscience objection where if you have some sort of fundamental opposition to vaccination, you don't have to get vaccinated. You might get measles, but you don't need to get vaccinated. And here's the thing, when the left says, well, if you don't get vaccinated, remember the famous Joe Biden press release where he said, for the unvaccinated, you'll be facing a winter of death. Well, okay, if you're right about the vaccines, then the vaccinated shouldn't have to worry about that, because if you're vaccinated, you don't have to worry about getting COVID. That's explicitly what they said. But it was wrong. RFK Jr. doesn't exist as an HHS secretary candidate, as a major presidential candidate, as a major force in politics for the last several decades if America's health industry, if the big pharmas of the world, if the government was just being honest with us. I mean, my goodness, for all of human history, we have sort of known if you eat right, if you don't gorge yourself, if you don't smoke and drink yourself to death, if you don't take drugs, if you're physically active, if you don't overexert yourself and give yourself a heart attack by 45, you go out for walks every day, You eat a balanced diet, fruits and vegetables and proteins, and, the guidance changes. Sometimes eggs will kill you. Sometimes eggs are great. Sometimes a glass of wine a night is fantastic for your heart. Sometimes it'll give you cancer. We have no idea. This science is constantly changing. There's this study and that study that contradicts, but it evolves. But ultimately, we've always sort of known that if you just lead a balanced, moderate, temperate lifestyle, and by temperate, I don't mean be a teetotaler, but don't drink to excess, don't eat to it, don't do anything to excess, don't starve yourself, don't deprive yourself of needed vitamins, treat yourself every so often. It's okay to have birthday cake and the occasional dessert. It's okay to go out and drink with your buddies every now and again. But if you just take care of your body, you don't need to be on 1,000 different pills. Now, people who have chronic illnesses and things like that, yes, I understand. I am somebody who takes medicine daily for anxiety, and I swear by it. I did that because there was no other way for me to treat my anxiety. I didn't say, hey, doc, give me a pill. Give me something so I don't need to work at fixing whatever it is wrong. It's a chemical imbalance in my brain that the medicine just sort of stabilizes. That's it. So for some people, they're, and let's not go too far the other way. Modern medicine is downright miraculous. The way we have cured diseases that in bygone eras wiped out half the population. And look, I know there are people who are going to do vaccinations are modern miracles. Modern miracles. Measles, mumps, rubella, those weren't even the deadly ones. Polio, we vaccinated essentially out of existence. Okay? That's a fact. That is an honest to God. You don't have to worry about kids catching polio. Meningitis. Tuberculosis. There's another one. Tuberculosis. Thank you very much, Andrew. Tuberculosis, or consumption, as it was called, that was deadly. That was deadlier than deadly. I mean, we used to have plagues. We used to have influenza outbreaks that would wipe out millions at a crack. And it wouldn't be, people who were very, very old and very, very frail. That's not to say, well, who cares if they died? But it would strike down healthy 32-year-olds. We don't have that anymore because of what we know about, vaccination, sure, about treatment, about, the medicines that you can take. And that's why I never understood the just absolute hate for big pharma, for pharmaceutical companies, for the profit motive of, have you noticed, by the way, that there aren't a whole lot of miracle cure drugs that come out of Europe, where they supposedly have, or Canada, where they supposedly have the world's best healthcare systems? Why is that, do you suppose? Why is it that there are 8-month wait lists for doctor's visits? I just had to reschedule a dentist appointment for tomorrow, because I've got some listeners coming in for a little tour. They won a contest, or I think it was a silent auction. They're coming in. I'm very excited about that. I realized I had to reschedule. Like, okay, would you like to come back in Monday or Tuesday? If this was Great Britain, they'd be like, all right, would you like to come back in 2028 or 2030? Those are the availabilities that we have. Sorry, you might have to pull your tooth like Tom Hanks in Castaway. Find yourself a rock and an ice skate, buddy, because that's what you're getting for treatment. We don't have that in America, because we have a system that allows for just miracle working in the development of treatments. We're so good at this that we come up with treatments that we realize work for other stuff. Ozempic, that was a diabetes drug that they realized, holy cow, this is a miracle weight loss drug. Now that one I've got my issues with. What was it, Rogaine? That was used to treat, I forget the story on it, but they realized that men were regrowing hair back in the 80s or 90s. Like, oh my goodness. Look at what we can use this for. It was a high blood pressure medicine. That's right. Thank you, Andrew. Just look very recently. We had a malaria treatment that actually did wonders with COVID. And guess what our medical establishment told us? Well, that's horse paste. Don't you dare listen to Joe Rogan. Well, it turns out that the horse paste actually worked pretty well. And if you take hydroxychloroquine, or I always forget the name of the other one. Aaron Rodgers and Rogan were into that one. Whatever. Ivermectin. Thank you very much. That was the horse paste. Ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine. You could use those, and you could have a great outcome with COVID-19. Maybe you could have a great outcome with Paxlovid. Maybe you could have a great outcome with getting on a breathing treatment. But there were multiple ways to treat it. But because the medical establishment and Big Pharma realized that the only way that they could get the vaccines and mandatory vaccination and mandatory payments from the federal government and a waiver of the normal testing process to get emergency authorization is if you can demonstrate there's no other treatment. So they lied, even though it was remarkably effective and remarkably cheap to treat COVID-19 with hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin. Ivermectin, I guess, especially. They wouldn't allow it because that wouldn't allow the drug companies to make billions and billions and billions of dollars. This is, if I'm a Democrat saying this 20 years ago, I'm applauded. I probably get a guest spot in the next Michael Moore documentary. You say it now, oh, you're a radical right-wing conspiracy theorist. Well, both things can be true at the same time, that we are over-reliant on drugs, that we need to live healthy lifestyles, as RFK suggests, and also that vaccines can be effective, can be safe. Big Pharma can be allowed to make profits to create the miracle drugs that make us all healthier and extend all of our lives. All of this stuff can be true if we have an open mind. And ultimately, I think that's what RFK and the confirmation hearings are all about. Having an open mind to as many different ways to be healthy as there are human beings on this planet. When we come back, an update on the state Supreme Court race and the widening scandal surrounding Susan Crawford and the Wisconsin Democratic Party.
Rapid traffic
on News Talk 1130 WISN.
From the Lynch family of dealerships, Total Traffic Center.
Southbound 4145, slow Appleton down to Capitol, 13 from Good Hope to the Zoo interchange. No trouble down to the Hale interchange, but eastbound on 894, you're going to be slow to Forest Home. Stall on the exit to 60th is gone. I'm Kevin Henry. That's your latest Total Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
When the wildfires struck Los Angeles,
severe fire weather conditions,
first responders from near and far came to the rescue.
All fire departments and all law enforcement will be prepared.
Now the music community has joined together to help at Fire Aid, a historic fundraising concert for the recovery of Los Angeles. Tomorrow night, starting at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific, live on the free iHeartRadio app's Hit Nation station.
And give what you can now at fireaidla.org.
Slipping on the ice?
Ugh.
Someone else shoveling your driveway.
Ah.
Cold feet?
Ugh.
Toasty tootsies.
Ah.
Waking up to a cold house?
Ugh.
With no warm air coming from the register.
Ugh.
And discovering your antiquated furnace is DOA.
Ugh.
But now, this is you learning that Mr. Holland's Home Services can install a new, fully warranted, highly efficient comfort system.
Ah.
Better yet, you can enjoy consistent, cozy comfort with payments as low as $79 a month with approved credit.
Ah.
Because you deserve it.
Ah.
If your failing furnace is showing signs of old age, be proactive. Call Mr. Holland's Home Services to schedule the installation of your brand new, fully functional comfort system for a low monthly rate. And take your winter from
Ugh.
to
866-992-1717
or visit MrHollandsHomeservices.com. Ready to put some thaw in your
Ah.
We can help.
Be sure to listen to the NX Wealth Management Investment Show Saturday mornings at 11 and Sunday afternoons at 1 on News Talk 1130 WISN. NX provides its expertise to arm listeners with the knowledge and tools to invest wisely. NX Wealth Management. Know the difference.
At Ross Dental New Berlin and Waukesha, our 3D scanners and CEREC mills create custom ceramic crowns, veneers, and fillings, allowing true same-day repairs, even for teeth in need of substantial restoration possible. When most dentists say one-day smile restoration, they mean 2 or 3 visits. Upgrading your smile with sedation dentistry, caring staff, comfort, and affordable payment options in one day is simple. Visit Ross Dental New Berlin or Waukesha, and very soon you'll smile like you just don't care, because you don't. RossDentalWI.com. That's RossDentalWI.com.
Well, it was during a 10, 12-inch snowstorm, and we probably shouldn't have been delivering, but we were delivering.
Ben and Arvid Huth from Penny Mustard Furnishings.
And they get to the end of the driveway, and it's a long driveway, like a quarter-mile long, and it has been plowed. So what they did was they carried that table a quarter-mile to the house, delivered it through 10 inches of snow, and then carried the old table, customer's old table, a quarter-mile back to the truck. That is just doing whatever it takes to get it done. Yep.
See more at pennymustard.com.
I'm defense attorney Tom Grieve. If you drive drunk, you will be pulled over and you will be arrested. You cannot talk your way out of a DUI, but you can keep your mouth shut for your best defense. Call my team of award-winning former state prosecutors. You are only guilty if you are convicted. GrieveLaw.com.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
For more information about contests on News Talk 1130 WISN, go to newstalk1130.com/rules. All programs on News Talk 1130 WISN are broadcast through the NX Wealth Management Studios. NX Wealth Management. Know the difference. WISN listeners are wise, enlightened, engaged, and have impeccably good taste. Thank you for making us Wisconsin's most listened to radio station. News Talk 1130 WISN.
Brought to you on Monday. It is starting to go national, but very slowly. I am writing about it in The Federalist. You can read that column, thefederalist.com. I believe it'll be published tomorrow morning. State Supreme Court candidate Susan Crawford is holding an event with the chairman of the Wisconsin Democratic Party, Ben Wickler. Now, even though this is a nonpartisan race, Crawford is running against conservative judge and former state attorney general Brad Schimmel, who is a fantastic candidate. And by the way, will be joining the Dan O'Donnell show to talk about this scandal involving his opponent, as well as the state of the race tomorrow afternoon. He is going to join us in the 5 o'clock hour right here on the Dan O'Donnell show. I want you to think about this in terms of football, to sort of get a handle on why people are so upset about this. Has there been anything that's ticked off football fans quite like the AFC Championship game this past Sunday? No, right? Number of questionable calls, couple of stops 3rd and 4th down where it appears the Bills got the first down. I still think on 4th down, Josh Allen didn't get it. I don't believe the ball actually crossed. I think it's also impossible to be able to tell. But there were conspiracy theories, there were memes, there were jokes that the NFL is rigging games so that the Chiefs win. Now, it's nonsense, right? The NFL's not actually rigging games, but imagine if there was an email that was uncovered. There was a high-profile meeting of Chiefs fans with Andy Reid, head coach of the Chiefs, the NFL's commissioner, Roger Goodell, his head of refereeing, and I don't know, Taylor Swift. And imagine if the subject line of that email was chance to put the Super Bowl in play in 2025. Now imagine that email was real, and it wasn't about rigging football games, but about rigging the congressional midterms in 2026. That's exactly what's going on in the state Supreme Court race. Democratic Party is colluding with Crawford to try to use her election to gerrymander Wisconsin's congressional maps and win control of the U.S. House. Republicans currently have a 218 to 215 advantage, and they think that they could get half of the seats that they need just in Wisconsin, just with this plot to gerrymander the congressional races. On Monday, the New York Times inadvertently spilled the beans on this. We now have the full email that was titled, Chance to Put 2 More House Seats in Play for 2026. The Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel's Dan Bice published the full email. You can see it at jsonline.com. We just had the subject line from the New York Times, Reed Epstein, doing the reporting. Now we have the full email. After Janet Protasewicz was elected to the Wisconsin Supreme Court in an April 2023 election, this is the text of the email, the new pro-democracy majority struck down Wisconsin's super gerrymandered state legislative districts. Democrats then gained 14 state legislative seats in 2024, creating the potential to win chamber control in 2026. Now, one of the judges who make up the pro-democracy majority is retiring, putting control of the Wisconsin Supreme Court up for grabs again. Winning this race could also result in Democrats being able to win 2 additional U.S. House seats, half the seats needed to win control of the House in 2026. Now, that somehow wasn't clear enough. The email also touts appearances by Reid Hoffman, the founder of LinkedIn, a Dem mega donor. He's given $14.5 million to the Wisconsin Democratic Party in just the past couple of years, as well as the former U.S. Attorney General Eric Holder. He now happens to chair the National Democratic Redistricting Campaign. So here's the plot. Crawford wins. She replaces the retiring Lib Ann Walsh Bradley. She is then ordered to strike down Wisconsin's congressional maps, forcing the creation of new ones that will gerrymander the 2 closest House districts, those currently represented by Derek Van Orden and Brian Stile. Stile won his last 2 re-election bids by 54%. Exactly. Got exactly 54% of the vote both times. Van Orden, even closer, 51% of the vote, 2024 and 2022. Democrats believe that they can easily put way more Democrats in those 2 districts, and Stile and Van Orden, or any other Republican for that matter, would have no chance of winning. They already did so, and they're bragging about it in this email, that they did so last year and almost took back control of the state legislature. Sure enough, the day after Janet Protasewicz was elevated to the Wisconsin Supreme Court in August of 2023, the literal day after, liberal groups sued to strike down Wisconsin's state legislative maps. State Supreme Court, U.S. Supreme Court had already approved them. They sued anyway. Supreme Court, of course, took up the case. Right before Christmas, they struck them down. The results were devastating for Republicans, as you might imagine. They lose 10 seats in the state assembly, 4 seats in the state Senate, And Democrats think they're going to retake the majority in 2026. They're going to do the exact same thing to the congressional maps. Last time around, Democrats were able to nationalize the Supreme Court election around the issue of abortion. Now they're trying to nationalize it around the issue of we will totally just strike down the electoral maps. We can destroy Trump's majority. We can actually get the majority back. We could impeach Trump again if you just get Susan Crawford elected in 2025. That's beyond scandalous. This is open discussion of rigging an election, just like the Kansas City Chiefs meeting with Roger Goodell and the head of officiating, talking about a chance to put the Super Bowl in play, would be rigging football games. Why do they email each other? Asks Andrew. Because they, honest to goodness, don't see a problem with this. They see this as Republicans gerrymandered, even though there's no evidence that they actually did. Did you know this? That Republicans did not, every single time that Republican maps have been challenged, they have not been found to be gerrymandered. And in fact, Republicans have won roughly the same percentage of seats going back decades. The issue is Democrats don't want to live anywhere in this state outside of the Madison or Milwaukee areas. They just don't. Democrats see what they do as always being on the side of angels, right? The ends always justify the means because they're fighting against Hitler, who now is Elon Musk. Before it was Trump, it was, I am constantly reminded of the Eminem, the rap battle movie, 8 Mile, where he points to all the guys in the rival hip-hop crew, and he goes, 1 Pac, 2 Pac, 3 Pac, 4 Pac, 3 Pac, 2 Pac, 1, you're Pac, he's Pac, I'm Pac, whatever, no Pac, none, and that's how it ends, right? He's saying, like, everybody wants to be Tupac, but nobody's Tupac. That's like Democrats with Hitler. Like, he's Hitler. No, he's Hitler. No, she's Hitler. There's a Hitler. Here's a Hitler. They always see themselves as standing up for justice, as righting the wrongs, and therefore what they're doing couldn't possibly be illegal, couldn't possibly be corrupt. This is just getting the maps back to a non-gerrymandered fair state. Now, they happen to just, they benefit Democrats, and we are saying we can totally win 2 more seats if we just get this woman on who is going to vote. Can we get, speaking of Bice, can we get him? I know Susan Crawford is not going to answer my questions, but can we get a reporter to, this is a just imagine. All right, Brad Schimmel and I, when we do our interview tomorrow, we hook up with Brian Schimming, right, head of the state Republican Party. And we get Robin Voss on the call, too. We say, we are going to just force a redraw of all the maps, and we're going to make it so that Mark Pocan and Gwen Moore can't win. Could you imagine? I would be in jail, I think. The new Milwaukee DA would just be running out here with handcuffs. You would have that crazy woman from the Zao MKE church screaming in my face, I will shut your mic off. They'd freak out. But now, no. They're just undoing Republican gerrymandering. It's totally fine. Speaking of rigging things, State Superintendent Jill Underly rigs state scores. And wouldn't you know it, the national scores released today prove that she did so.
Rapid traffic
on News Talk 1130 WISN.
Now, here's traffic from Tri-City National Bank, your hometown bank. Call the Tri-City Total Traffic Tip Line at 414-944-5111.
Stopping and going southbound on 43 from Locust down to the Marquette interchange and on to 4394 down to the KK River. Westbound on 94 jammed over to Hawley and slowing again from Elm Grove to Moreland. I'm Kevin Henry. That's your latest Total Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Perfect for instant contact with an aging parent. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get an extra 60% off, free UPS shipping, and add code RADIO for an extra 5% off.
When winter's frosty grip squeezes out all the joy of the season, that's when to heat things up by playing the nationwide Cold Hard Cash Contest on News Talk 1130 WISN.
Win some cash.
9 times each weekday. Listen for the keyword to enter at newstalk1130.com, and you could win the hourly prize of $1,000.
The Cold Hard Cash Contest is presented by Tap In Golf Bar, offering Metro Milwaukee's premier indoor golf simulator experience, locations in Waukesha and Sussex. TapInGolfBar.com.
Josh from Infinity here. The roofing and exterior modeling industry is notorious for painful surprise hidden costs.
MJ here. We built Infinity with integrity, installing roof, siding, windows, and peace of mind.
Infinity's custom app eliminates costly, unpleasant roofing and exterior modeling upcharges, showing in absolute transparency every detail of your project.
We pay less, you pay less.
Infinity provides multiple budget options, including financing immediately.
Warranted, guaranteed quality, installing peace of mind. InfinityRoofing.com.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Hi, it's Jason from Capital Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electric, and I've never told you why Capital does same-day repair 7 days a week. Years ago, in the dead of winter, the heat failed in an apartment building I was responsible for, so I called a big local heating company who promised to help, but never showed up. After a million calls, I mustered the know-how and fixed it myself. That's when I decided Milwaukee deserves a company that cares, and that's why we offer same-day repair 7 days a week. Visit callcapitalcares.com because Capital cares.
When Flawless Flooring installs luxury vinyl plank, hardwood, modern laminate, or carpeting, I personally guarantee your satisfaction with every step from shopping through installation. I'm Flawless Flooring's president, Dave Brownsdorf, and I approve this message. Sensory Underload Flawless Flooring. FlawlessFlooringLLC.com.
Hi, I'm Willa Voss. I'm 8 years old. Mom and Dad own Cut and Go Tree Service. Yes, they did name me after a tree. Our family loves this country and the freedom it provides. Every morning, I look forward to starting the school day with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please say it along with me, even if you just say it in your mind. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. American patriots will enjoy a 5% discount for flying the American flag and mentioning this commercial when the Cut and Go remote control, automobile mounted, articulated crane, grapple saw operators are putting your dead trees on the ground or removing large branches that grew over something important. An all-American Tons of Trees movement. CutandGoTrees.com. That's CutandGoTrees.com.
I'm Victor Harding, a true trial attorney at Warshevsky Law. You've heard our advertising for years. While it's been effective introducing Warshevsky to injured people in need of maximum judgments and settlements, most of our clients come from personal referral. Referrals from former clients grateful for the settlement or trial judgment Warshevsky won on their behalf. Thus, they're recommending us to friends and family. Referrals from people in the community, including other lawyers and judges who want to make sure their friends and family are taken care of. Still not sure? Ask around. Warshevsky is referred by Wisconsin law enforcement officers who've seen Warshevsky attorneys in action, desperate to make sure friends and family receive just compensation. Insurance adjusters, often our adversaries, refer their family members hurt in accidents. They know the work we do. They all refer Warshevsky because, big case or small, we can help. If someone you love is injured, please let them know, because at the end of their ordeal, their injury is about the money. Warshevsky.com.
Hi, it's Jerry Bott. When I bought my SUV at Holiday Mazda, it was downright fun. And one reason was because it was so easy. Set up the test drive on Holiday's website, greeted at the door by a guest experience specialist. Vehicle was ready. He showed me how it worked. Great test drive. arrived, nailed down the financing, and boom, I bought the vehicle. Easy process, wonderful experience.
Make your drive into 2025 in a new Mazda from Holiday in Fond du Lac. During the New Year sales event, well-qualified buyers can lock in low 2.9% 5-year or 6-year financing on the raved-about luxurious 3-row Mazda CX-90 or the first-ever spacious and nimble 2-row Mazda CX-70. All-wheel drive is standard and plug-in hybrid models are included. Save even more if you or someone in your household already drives Mazda. Connect with Team Holiday for qualifying details. Take a test drive, find yours, and drive it home today from Holiday Mazda Fond du Lac and holidaymazda.com.
It's worth the trip.
Welcome back to the Dan O'Donnell Show. I can't make any promises, folks. I always hate doing this. We're going to have to push Guess What's Racist to either Friday or just skip it for this week, Thursday or Friday. Well, probably Friday because we got Brad Schimmel in the 5 o'clock hour tomorrow, the state Supreme Court candidate. I'm still getting used to the timing of this show. For those who have been loyal members of Dan Nation for a long time, you get used to hearing me at a certain time. Well, doing a radio show, it's all about habit and familiarity and just timing. You have to have internal timing to know when the commercial breaks. I've been doing this for almost a month now. I'm still getting the timing down. So and we also had a couple of big breaking stories. I mean, the one about the illegal immigrant drunk driver who killed somebody, who killed another suspected illegal in his car and then badly injured a couple, a man and a woman, 35-year-old man, 38-year-old woman, and injured, sent the entire family to the hospital, the mother and father with serious life-threatening injuries, fortunately minor injuries for the 3 children in the backseat. That came to us just before the top of the hour. And then, of course, we had the silly and funny but still very serious story about a candidate forum for the candidates for a Milwaukee Common Council seat being shut down because one candidate, the one Republican in the race, Bryant Junko, dared to speak his mind about something as non-controversial as, yes, criminal illegal aliens need to be kicked out of this country, need to be deported. That led to a screaming match. So we have these exclusive stories, and sometimes we have to juggle a whole lot around. And that means there's not a whole lot of time for things like this. The Institute for Reforming Government reports that brand new national NAEP test scores for K through 12 students show just 31% of Wisconsin students are proficient in reading. Now, before this school year, State Superintendent Jill Underly, who faces re-election, she faces a primary next month, February 18th, and then the general election. It's believed that she will survive the primary. There are 3 announced candidates. Conservatives are flocking to Brittany Kinzer, who I don't know a whole lot about. Would love to have her on the program to talk about hell, I would love to have Jill Underly on the program. Can't imagine she would want to answer some tough questions about why she just unilaterally changed the state's standards for testing. She just changed how standardized testing is scored, so there's no way that you can possibly compare it to national scoring. Well, the Institute for Reforming Government did anyway and found just 31% of Wisconsin students on NAEP standards are proficient, but 52% on Jill Underly's new, more lenient standards are proficient. You see what she did? She's trying to make it look like Wisconsin schools are doing a whole lot better under her leadership when they're not. That's the whole reason that the scores were rigged, and they were rigged. Ladies and gentlemen, even Governor Evers, in a rare moment of lucidity, said during a press conference to mark the beginning of the state legislative session earlier this month, said he didn't think that the scores should be changed. He said it was a mistake. In fact, he's not even endorsing Underly in this primary. That's a big deal. Even Evers realizes what was going on here. Underly was trying to make herself look better, trying to make her tenure as state superintendent look better in an election year by making it so that it appears kids are doing better when they're actually not. Well, yes, exactly. Andrew said that was his job prior. Right. And Evers even said in his press conference, look, I did this job. I know you don't want to comment on a department you left, but this is not something that I would do. Now, you can't even blame the pandemic. Scores are lower than they were in 2019. I mean, we are on a pronounced downward trajectory. 31% of fourth graders proficient in reading. 52% claimed by the forward exam. This down from 33% in 2022, 36% in 2019. 39% of students scored below basic. That's 2 grade levels behind. 2 grade levels. All right. We are going to have to end a little early. We've got one more commercial break, and then we'll go to the Sean Hannity show. I apologize, folks, but that just means we have got way more to get to tomorrow, and we do. Talk to you then. 3:06 right here on the Dan O'Donnell Show.